Okay. Okay, this regular council meeting will come to order. And can we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Sir. Mayor Jason Knight.
Here.
Councilmember Place 1, Ruth Camarillo Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Place 2, Luis Chacon.
Here.
Councilmember Place 3, Luana Lulu Martin. Here. Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember Place 4, Randy Haskins.
Here.
Mayor, there's a quorum of the council present to conduct this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Now would everyone please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, we gather in gratitude to serve our community. May wisdom and respect guide our discussions, and may a spirit of cooperation inform our decision as we work together for the well-being of all who call this city home. In your guiding presence, we proceed with purpose and goodwill. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now we're going to move into citizens' comments.
Mayor, we do have a couple of announcements.
Do we?
If that's okay. Yes, there was discussion regarding holding a town hall meeting on April the 8th. However, due to scheduling conflicts, we're going to have to reschedule that. Once we have the new date, we'll communicate that to the public.
Okay. You can't hear back there, Carol?
Okay.
The
well, let me-
speakers are messed
okay.
up again.
Okay,
All
let
right.
me speak a little louder. There was discussion about holding a town hall meeting on April the 8th, but there have been some scheduling conflicts, so we're going to have to reschedule that. Once we know that new date, we'll communicate that information to the public.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
And Mayor, can you all hear me back there in the back? No?
Yeah, your mics are on.
Okay, it's on. I think it's on. Let me get up here real quick. You all hear me? Yes. Okay. What I want to do, Mayor, is just report to the council and the community the progress or lack of progress that we've had in trying to settle our differences with the chamber. Okay. And this goes back to October, and I think tonight there's some organizations here asking the council to consider awarding hot funds. And hot funds, as you know, are community funds, belongs to the community. Every year, the chamber would come before the council and ask for hot funds to assist them in running and being able to do things to promote the city of Aransas Pass. Okay, and that was to a tune of about maybe a little bit under $250,000 a year that the city would assist them with funds. And as such, even though we award these funds, the city is ultimately responsible to reporting back to the state. Should the city be audited in the future, we need to be able to account for those monies. Okay. We've been asking the chamber, going back to October, we've been asking the chamber to provide us audits so that we can satisfy not only the council, but be prepared in case we're audited and be able to explain to these auditors how these monies are being funded. The city doesn't mind providing these funds to the community because bottom line is helping the community and it's helping the city. It helps everybody, right? But at the same time, we need to be able to account for those funds. And this has gone on since October. Okay. We've reached out, we're trying to avoid litigation in this case because litigation is not going to help anybody. It's going to give the city a black eye, right? And that's what we're trying to prevent. We don't want any more black eyes. We want to move the city in a positive note, positive light. Our efforts have been since maybe November of last year, December. Instead of filing lawsuit, let's mediate this thing. Let's go to a mediator that can help us resolve our differences without having to spend money in litigation, going into a courtroom, and again, giving the city a black eye. Mediation's not hard. You find a mediator that's willing to take on the case, and you set dates, and you go in there and you work it out. You work it out and come out with an agreement that everybody can live with. Right? Well, to the date, we haven't been able to get any response back from the chamber. Okay. We had a judge that was willing to do this, but she says, I've got a time frame from March to April, because after that I'm gone. So I've reached out and said, okay, we need to set it. I've got a mediator that's willing to do it. So let's get our things together and let's go mediate this thing. Let's go resolve it. Well, that time has come and gone. That judge won't be available till another month. She's out on vacation. She's a retired judge who sat on the bench for over 20 years, very savvy, well-versed on issues that's involving the city here. So here we are. I'm reporting to you that our efforts to mediate this have failed, okay? Not because of lack of effort, but it's just not getting anywhere. And I know council has asked me where we're at with this. Well, unfortunately, this is my report to you that we weren't able to secure a date to go and mediate this thing. So I'll be asking for further instructions from the council to see what our next steps would be.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think that the end, is that it for announcements?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to move into citizens' comments. Anybody wish to speak? Okay, come on.
Hello, my name is Darlene Min, and I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the family of Elisa Roberson, who went missing on August 6, 1989. For 36 years, the Roberson family has lived a nightmare, the loss of a beloved daughter and sister, followed by a decade of targeted harassment. It was fueled by Chief Eric Blanchard, Captain Carl Rhodes, and Texas Ranger Tony DeLuna, who looked this family in the eye and claimed that they were guilty of Elisa's murder, asserting without proof that she was buried beneath their own house. This is the third time that this house has been searched and cleared in 36 years. Third time. First, in 1989, when initial law enforcement, including Captain Mike Thompson, Lieutenant Linda Thompson, Sergeant Walter Winkle, Sergeant Darrell Jones, Chief Melvin Shedd, Texas Ranger Charles Brune, Search and Rescue Air Units, Caesar volunteers, foot explorers, and several bloodhounds, including Clementine, the cadaver dog from Rockport, all scoured the home and surrounding area multiple times in the days and weeks following Elisa's disappearance and found nothing. To this date, it was the largest search and rescue operation of its kind in Aransas Pass history. Had the previous administration done their homework, they would have known how exhaustive this initial search was. The second time was an excavation by Texas EquiSearch in 2016. Captain Rhodes and Ranger DeLuna asserted that this was no longer a missing persons case, but a recovery effort. Yet again, nothing was found. They must have believed that the original search team, with several years of experience between them, were either negligent or incompetent. The third time recently, February 2026, when the Texas Attorney General's office completed another geoforensic survey of the property, and yet again, no human remains were found. Are we done wasting taxpayer money and resources searching a property that has been cleared since 1989? We do know that the results are in from this last search, and I'm asking this council to intervene and ensure that the Aransas Pass Police Department issue an immediate public statement on those results. After 10 years of targeted suspicion, this family deserves to be absolved of these accusations publicly. Words do matter. That's why a public statement and apology now would matter. It is time for this city to hold its department accountable for the damage done to the Roberson family and to Elisa's investigation. Please do not repeat the same mistakes from the previous administration. The family and the community needs to hear from you. In fact, this is a black eye that could be eliminated if people would speak up like they're supposed to, mainly the Aransas Pass Police Department. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wish to speak? Yeah.
I know it's public comment, but are we able to comment on agenda items when the agenda item comes up?
Yes, yes, you can.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Josh. Okay, anyone else wish to speak? No? Okay, now we'll go on to staff reports and discussion items. And discussion and provide direction on inactive boards and commissions.
Yes, sir, Mayor. So, after encouraging with some council members and actually from some of the work I've been doing, it seems like we have quite a few boards that are completely inactive. Some boards look like they're a mesh of two, and this is basically off of our code of ordinances. So, I guess what we're looking for is just guidance from council, get a consensus that to go ahead and outline which of these boards could potentially be dissolved. And maybe rework some other boards if possible. Example, I think our interaction with the Memorial Commission recently kind of brought that up as well, where, you know, they meet infrequently, and, you know, we have ordinances that were dictating that they would have to meet monthly and so on and so forth, so.
Do you want to provide them with a list of the boards or mention the boards that we're referring to?
Yes, so some of the boards here are Industrial Development Corporation, Trade and Tourism, Joint Air Board Zoning Board, Pilots Board, Building, let's see, the Building Board of Adjustments. I think that's there's a couple of boards here that are kind of a combination of the
That one is an active board.
active board, right? Examining and Supervising Board of Electrical Contractors, City Parks and Recreation, Hotel, you had a Hotel Motel Tax Advisory Committee, Safety Committee. So those are the boards that are completely inactive, right? They're not even in existence now, so, but they're on our code of ordinances.
Some of those boards go as far back as 1956. So if the council agrees, we can bring them back and to abolish them.
I think so.
You with it?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
good with it.
Okay.
Okay, all right, if there's, since there's council consensus, we'll bring them back in the next couple of meetings to remove them from the city code of ordinances.
Okay,
Okay.
all right,
Thank
thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go to a public hearing for a request to renew a conditional use permit by applicant Richard Titus to keep a recreational vehicle on the premises during the construction of a residential building. The property is located at 624 South Rife, more particularly described by San Patricio County as property ID number 36173, City of Aransas Pass, Town Site Block 443, Lot 2627. And at 6:14, I declare this public hearing open.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You got questions for me? I'm here filing for my conditional use permit, and this has all been up in the air with all of this stuff that's been going on lately. I don't know where I stand anymore. You know, I've been told I have till June 30th, or I'm not gonna be able to stay in my RV anymore. I need somebody to clarify what's going on with me and the situation with the city. I need some help, you know. I need to know
Jason.
what's going on.
So we have planning and zoning here to give a presentation on this item.
So I'm Melissa Thorne, and I am the planning clerk with Development and Services for the City of Aransas Pass. Essentially, this is, Mr. Titus is requesting to keep a recreational vehicle on his premise during construction. We are not trying to keep him from constructing his home. The matter is clearly that he is trying to live on the premise. Mr. Titus has had his, well, in June, it will be a full 5 years, and the permit will be exhausted. He will be able to reapply. That means he's gonna have to provide all financial documents, all construction blueprints, basically start from ground up. We're not trying to deter him from building his house. But as someone who works for planning and development, I get multiple calls from people that want to put an RV on a premise and construct, but due to this situation, it's somewhat curtailing my board from voting to allow people to do that. Okay? So that's really all I have, and if Mr. Titus wants to speak, we'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank
I
you.
don't have a problem if you're gonna let me reapply. That's not the way that I was understood from the planning and zoning meeting. I have already submitted this paperwork twice to this city. Once when Osei was here, and again when Brenda was here and got everything all messed up. I don't see why I should be required to submit it all again when the city already has it on record. If I have to, that's fine. Just please let me finish building my house. I am working on it right now. I had back surgery on March 20th. I'm not making excuses for not being here. I have spent the last 4 months taking care of my father, who comes before myself and my house. And I hope that y'all understand that, because everybody's parents should come before themselves. I am here asking, if you want me to get a new one, I will. But I don't understand why I should have to file all the paperwork again that's already been submitted twice. I have support here from my neighbors that are on my street. These people believe, they know you can't even see my RV from the road. Mr. Haskins, you said you drove by the other day. Did you see it? Okay. I'm busting my butt. Even after back surgery on the 20th, I've been out there finishing my AC. I've got my HVAC permit. I've got moving all my rock around for somebody to come do my wainscot of rock around the 4-foot sides and the back. Let me just finish my house, please.
No, and it's like she said, and I agree. You know, nobody's going to tell you they don't want. I'd be the last person to say I wouldn't want you to build the house, but that's just how the ordinance is written.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with the
Yeah.
new one, okay? Y'all already have the paperwork.
Right.
Why can't you look it up and pull it back up? It's here already.
Well, I know,
Nothing's changed.
But like right now, I mean, it's irrelevant, because you won't have to renew this until when, July?
June.
In
No,
June.
June.
Yeah, June. So I mean, what we're doing right now is trying to keep you in there until June. That's
All
what
right,
we
just
got up
please
right
work
now.
with me and let me finish my house. I
Right.
didn't spend all this money to get this far building this house with all of my issues, and not to bring up my broken neck again, but
Right.
this, you know, I built this house by myself. The city let me start building it by myself. Please let me finish it by myself. I can't ask any nicer. I mean, come on, guys.
Oh, I know,
I'm
Richard.
getting it done.
Yeah. Well,
Richard, again, no one's preventing you from building your house.
I know you're trying to keep, but if you take me off, if you don't let me live in the RV, that's putting me out on the street, and that's putting 2 disabled senior citizens out on the street, because we can't afford, we live on a fixed income. We cannot afford to go pay rent somewhere else, and I've already lost $40,000 worth of material from this house. And everybody knows that Randy Webb, the drug head's the one that took it. I can't afford to lose no more. I've got more stuff now there than I did before I started. So just work with me, please. That's all I can ask.
yeah.
Melissa, does he have all of the paperwork? Do you have all of his paperwork?
As far as the ordinance reads, he may have submitted that paperwork in the past. What we're wanting, should he reapply, we want updated paperwork. What he said 5 years ago is not necessarily what's there now. If there is paperwork in existence, he is correct. Due to previous staff, that paperwork is not in my possession. That's not in our possession. But mostly what we want as development services is we want to update. We want to see that progress, where it's going. That's what's important, to see how much longer this project is going to take. How much additional funds and time. It's not so much about the original plans as it is where we're at this moment. Because
Okay.
that's the important thing. Is he gonna be there for another year, or is this gonna be another 5 years? And the ordinance does strictly state, for a conditional use permit, he is liable to provide all those documents. Essentially, he's applying from the ground again. Whether he submitted it in the past or not is irrelevant. Those documents are required for a new conditional use.
I will try to find the stuff, okay? But I still disagree with that.
Okay, Richard, we don't make the rules, we just
I
enforce them,
understand that.
okay? If that's what she says she needs, then by all means, give it to her. If you've got copies of it, give it to her.
I'll
Well,
give
that
her what I
resolve the
have, which
problem.
is
Well,
what
it
I
sounds like it's gonna
submitted
be
the
new
first
stuff.
2 times that it's been submitted.
Randy, the problem
Well, I'm not
is-
talking about the new stuff, though. I'm talking about what he had before to add to the new stuff.
What, there's no new stuff.
So
That's,
let
Have
me
you
just
done
say
anything?
that for this,
right-
for this
for-
item that's on the agenda, this is to consider the renewal.
Right.
This renewal will take him through June 30th. After that, he will start this process, but we can deal with that at that
That's
time.
it.
And
This
that's
is
what I
just
was
for the
gonna
next
say,
3 months.
Richard,
Yes.
let's get through this part and then start looking for your paperwork. And then
Well, it
Sure,
needs
go
to
ahead,
be
Cory.
new paperwork submitted with the new
He's gonna have to pay more money.
application.
For
If he
when,
renews the permit, does he have to pay again financially? Does he have to pay again?
because I've
Yes.
already paid
See,
twice.
that's the problem.
Yes.
I've already paid twice within the last 6 months. So where, and now you're cutting
6
me 3
months.
months off of this one that I just got through doing. So where, let's work this out, you guys. Come on.
Richard-
I'm not sitting here trying to screw the city. I'm not trying to not get things done. I just want this to be right for y'all and for me. I've tried to be an ally for this city and this community, not an adversary. Come on, guys.
well, I'm
please.
with you, Richard, but at the end of the day, we gotta follow the written law.
I understand that.
I mean, we have
okay?
to.
But stuff that's already been turned in once shouldn't
Yep.
have to be turned in again. And I'll do what I've gotta do, okay?
Yeah,
But I need to finish my house.
Yeah.
I didn't spend all this money and all this time and my medical conditions and everything else to be told, no, I have to live on the street.
yeah. Well, it may-
Richard, when you
No
were in
one's
here
telling
6
you
months
that.
ago, what has been accomplished on the house since
Look at
you were
the
in here?
pictures.
Time out, let me speak for him. For 6 weeks, he was in Houston.
4 months. Hannah just had back surgery, March 20th.
His dad almost died. He had heart surgery. I feel for the guy, man. Because y'all are not intentionally doing it, but beating him to death. If they ain't one thing, it's something else over there at his house. Really. I mean, I've watched this thing. He got his electrical permit, he got the inspection, he's doing everything the city and the state requires of him, but yet somebody, the system, is beating him to death. Now, he has no problem giving you the paperwork again, but the more money? How can he finish his house when he's paying y'all more money every time? You know, that's the problem. He's on a fixed income, month to month. He can't, he went to the doctor the other day, couldn't even pay for it.
Not yet, I gotta close the public hearing.
Help the
I
guy,
think this is
man.
off.
Y'all wanna represent the city and the people? This is a good example. Very good example.
Yep.
He was, for a month and a half, he was in Houston with his family.
Well, I hear you, Frank, but I mean, right now, all we could do is
You give
approve
money
to
to
the,
the city chamber of commerce and they can blow $250,000, but yet you can't help a citizen out for whatever the permit is?
but I hear what you're saying, Frank, but what we're doing now is extending this until June.
Until June.
And
We
I'm
can't
trying to
do-
get to that point when June comes, July
Yeah,
1st,
right.
everything's covered.
Right,
Well,
but
this
right,
gives 3 months to get
but right
everything
now,
in
we
line.
can't do anything about June. All we could do is what's on the agenda right now.
You can discuss it together and work
Right.
out a plan, so at the end of June, it's
That's,
worked out.
you're exactly
We
right.
can't afford to do anymore.
You're exactly right. That's something we can talk about between now and June. That's something we can't address right now. All we can address is what's on, up to June.
Just help the old man, that's all
Okay.
I ask.
What is the new fee? 200. Used to be 1,200.
I've never, well, the very first one was.
Yeah.
1,200.
But I've paid 2 different fees for the conditional use permit within the last 6 months, whatever it's been, because I'm losing 3 months. It was supposed to be till November. My paperwork that I've got from y'all about meetings and this and this and that, the dates don't line up with the days. There's things that are so bad wrong. Just let's get together. Let me come
Okay.
up here and talk with y'all sometime, y'all,
Yeah.
and get this figured out so that I don't have to keep going through this. I've got enough stress on me building this house by myself. It's a 2,800 square foot, 2-story house that I have built by myself. And it is the best structure that this city will ever see built in this city. I can promise you that. Come look at it. All of y'all at one time, for the 4th time, come and look at my house. Don't just drive by. Come inside and let me show you what I have constructed inside this house. It is the most hurricane-proof house you will see in this city.
Richard, have you ever considered getting help building that house from
Ma'am,
veterans
I've
or
got
your
somebody
neighbors?
right now, I've tried and tried and tried, okay? I have somebody that's gonna do a nonprofit for me to do my rock work around my wainscot right now. I'm exhausted on things. I am forced to do this by myself, in which I am doing it as fast as I can, 7 days a week, which is the same thing I tell y'all every time I come to the meetings.
And if he has to
Again.
go out of that RV, it ain't never gonna get finished.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to move out the RV. The RV needs to move.
I know, but if he
Then
has to
where
move
am I
the-
gonna live?
If he has to move the RV, he's gotta move someplace else, and he's gotta pay to move someplace else, and he'll have no money to finish that house and no time to finish the house, because he can't afford it.
I understand that as well, but coming June, it says he's had 5 years, and that's more time than we've given anybody for any type of building of any house, and we have to do what's fair, and
Okay,
other
let's say-
people will
let's say
come
that-
up here.
What happens if he doesn't finish the house? What the hell y'all gonna do with it? Now we got unfinished property on our street? You know, there's a bottom line to this.
What
It's not
happens if he
finished.
still doesn't finish the
Excuse me, ma'am,
house
I got the
and
floor. I got the
he
floor.
comes?
I'm gonna play the council game, I know how it works, I've been on many city councils.
Yes, sir.
What are you gonna do if he doesn't finish the house? Now we got a 2-story house unfinished on our street. Who's gonna buy it? Nobody.
Got a point.
So what are you gonna do? Y'all have to work out with this
Yeah.
situation. Y'all let it happen from the beginning, so work with the situation, let's get this house done.
Well, what we need to do now is get through, see if we can get this approved. And in between, you got my phone number, Richard. We've talked a lot. Just give me a call. I mean, we'll do what we can, see what we can do.
Just let me
get
finish the
this going.
house. That's all I'm asking.
Well-
And I have to live on the property because I cannot afford somebody to come in and steal all of my stuff again. Like I've already got a police report from this city for $40,000 and my 24-foot cargo trailer
Yeah.
stolen from Randy Webb, a crackhead.
No,
I've got 3 dope houses on my street.
No, I hear you, Richard, but it's a process. Right
I
now,
understand that.
that's a process.
I'm just asking you, let me finish my house. I
Okay.
can't
All right.
ask no more than that.
Well, I think
other
today,
that way.
today we can only approve
Right.
for the next 3 months. That's all we can
That's all
do
we can
today.
do,
But
Richard.
we've got to see some progress too, Richard. We
Look
talked
at the
about this
pictures.
6 months
Where
ago.
are the pictures at? Where's the pictures Tito took?
Okay, that's the main thing. We want to see progress. We want to make sure it's going on. Nobody's
Did you-
trying to
did you get
put
the
anyone
pictures
out of
that
their
I
home,
sent
but there's
today?
also rules that have to be followed for everybody.
I understand that, ma'am. I follow all the rules,
So,
okay? I follow every rule I'm supposed to. I got houses across the street next door to me that don't follow the rules and don't get in trouble. And the ones that do follow the rules are getting in trouble.
He's already sheetrocking.
No,
Well, no, I
need
mean,
to
I think that's
sheetrock.
great.
I
I mean-
can't sheetrock until
Well,
I get
let's-
my AC inspection.
let's work on the next 3 months, because that's what we need to, that's all we can do today, is work on the
Yeah,
next
Right,
3
and I
months.
need to get with y'all to discuss what
You
we're
know,
gonna be able to allow.
We
this
just need to
because-
get through this, Richard, and then we can discuss whatever June comes.
All right,
Because there's
I
no we
feel
can do
like
about
y'all
it
are
right
picking
now.
on me and they're gonna put me out on the street. We've got 2 disabled senior citizens that have nowhere to go except live in our vehicles.
Hey, brother, sis, I don't want a movie with me. I don't want a movie with me.
You're never there anyway, Frank.
I think they're ready to.
All right.
Do you need anything else from me?
No, sir.
No, Richard,
sir.
thank you.
Carol Salinas, Saranza's Pass, and I'm also a member of Planning and Zoning. This is not about the house. Has nothing to do with him finishing the house. He can take till 2030 for all we care about finishing the house. This is about living in an RV on the property,
Right.
which that it will be 6 or 5 years in June. And during the P&Z meeting, this also was an issue. It's not about the house. It's about living in the RV. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Okay, now it's 6:29 and 6:30, and I declare this public hearing closed. And now we're gonna move into consider and act on ordinance granting a renewal of conditional use permit for 3 months until June 30th, 2026 to allow a recreational vehicle to be placed onto lot 26 and 27 of block 443, commonly known as 624 South Rife Street, and used as a temporary dwelling for security purposes during construction of a single-family dwelling. And do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve an ordinance granting a renewal of a conditional use permit for the 3 months until June 30th, 2026 to allow a recreational vehicle to be placed on onto Lot 26 and 27 of Block 443, commonly known as 624 South Rife Street, and used as a temporary dwelling for security purposes during construction of a single-family dwelling.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna move into action items and consider an act on an ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Aransas Pass, Texas tax notes, Series 2026, levying an annual ad valorem tax within the limitations prescribed by law for the payment of the obligations, prescribing the form, terms, conditions, and resolving other matters incident and related to the issuance, sale, and delivery of the obligations, authorizing the execution of paying agent, register agreement, and sale documents complying with the letter of representations previously executed with the depository letter of representations previously executed with the, oh, never mind, read that one twice, trust company, authorizing the execution of any necessary engagement agreement with the city's financial advisors and providing an effective date.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, this item relates to a tax note in the amount of $1,375,000. This funding is to support the capital projects that were included in this fiscal year. So Sandra is going to go over those capital projects now.
Can you tell us the amount again?
$1,375,000.
Okay.
All right. What you see here, you have a handout there that I left on the dais before the meeting. You see here all the items that are going to be purchased with the tax note. I know that there was some stuff on Facebook over the weekend. We are not purchasing an engine truck. We're not paying for a welcome sign with the tax note. What we're buying is going to be excavation tools, a mosquito sprayer, a mower, a saw, another mower, a trailer, a couple of trucks. There's going to be a connection to the Civic Center for some fiber connection, some cameras for Public Works. Public Works is they need a new building, so the first step is to hire an engineer to do the design of that building. So we're doing that. A tractor, some items for the meter readers. There's going to be a lead inventory done, Yoakum lift station, repairs, a Huff and Wheeler, that's an upgrade. We are funding that through a grant. We're suggesting maybe a metal building. Public Works Director wants a cinder block building that would be more withstanding with the weather and the times here. So that's going to cover that upgrade on that. So that's what we're buying with the tax note that's going to be sold tonight. I want to clarify that nothing else other than these items that are listed here will be purchased with those funds.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the other stuff in a budget amendment that's going to be done later in the evening.
Okay. And I guess we're still good on that lead inventory price, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So tonight here is Andrew Friedman with Samco. He's here to tell you about the bids and the sale of the tax note.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Good evening. Andrew Friedman with Samco Capital Markets, serve as the financial advisor to the city. As she just alluded to, we took bids on these tax notes. These are 5-year amortizing tax notes at a fixed interest rate. We put these out to all of the local, regional, and national banks who would bid on these and received bids at noon today. We received 6 bids, and the best bid came from Frost Bank at a fixed interest rate of 3.65%. Again, this will be repaid over the course of 5 years. We're very happy with the interest rates received. Frost Bank at 3.65%. And then ranging down from there, the last place bid of 4.11%. So it gives us a high degree of confidence that we're getting the best interest rate available in the market today. For some context, as we were working through the planning of this with Mary and with Sandra, we assumed interest rates around 4%. Of course, in the intervening couple of months, there's been some geopolitical risk introduced to the market. We've seen interest rates go up, but still very pleased to come in underneath that 4% interest rate. So With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have. Again, with your approval this evening, these notes would be closed and the funds delivered to the city on May 5th. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have.
So we recently just had that meeting where we talked about the debt and the city's debt. So this is going to be added onto that city's debt.
Yes, ma'am. This
Okay.
would just be an additional to the city's debt.
And
but
it would still be a healthy amount of debt where it's, you know.
It was, we are still within, we have the debt capacity, is what I'm going to say. There's gonna be some debt that's gonna be dropping off this year that's allowing us to issue this
This tax
debt
note.
today to start payment next year without having to raise the property taxes the following, in the
That was
in the
going to be
budget
my next
cycle. Yes,
question,
ma'am.
because
No,
that
no,
will come from the citizens about.
Correct, no. We would never guide you in a direction where we feel that the property tax rates will have to be increased because of debt issuance. So we do have the debt capacity, we have issued debt in a responsible manner that would allow us to hopefully lower the tax rate somewhat in the next budget cycle. So that's our goal, that's what we're aiming for.
Do you have an idea of when that debt is going to fall off?
Do you have my debt service? No. Hold on.
I know we've got annual payments that are decreasing.
Yes.
The way that our portfolio of debt is, we have many series of bonds or certificates of obligations, tax notes that have been issued. Every year, we see that annual debt service amount decline as an old series of debt matures. And so that's what's given the city the ability historically to go and issue a new tax note, every year or every other year, or certificates of obligation without increasing the tax rate. And so we're seeing that step down again over time. And we have those drops each of the next several years, where we can either issue new debt to fund capital projects or allow the property tax rate to decline.
Roughly next year, our debt is decreasing by $1 million.
Okay.
Our debt payment. So we're going to be paying about approximately $1 million less. So that's what's allowing us to issue this
Okay.
note today. Okay?
Yeah. You okay? Good. Okay.
Sandra, I know I've talked about this before, but did we go out for bids on these vehicles?
Yes, those vehicles are going to be purchased through a purchasing cooperative, either through the buy board,
It's a buy board?
HGAC, or something like that. Yes, sir.
Okay, good enough, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, do we have a motion?
Do I have to read the whole thing? Yep.
Cut it short.
Okay.
Well, I would.
I'll make a motion to approve, consider an act on a resolution determining the cost of certain authorized improvements to be financed within the improvement area number 1 of
No,
Aransas.
that's,
Huh?
It's,
Oh, okay, sorry. My bad. Consider an act on an ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Aransas Pass Texas Tax Note Series 2026, leaving the annual ad valorem tax within the limitations prescribed by law, et cetera, et cetera.
There you go. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, we're gonna consider an act on a resolution determining the cost of certain authorized improvements to be financed within improvement area number 1 of Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District, approving a preliminary service plan and assessment plan, including a proposed improvement area number 1 assessment roll. Noticing a public hearing to consider an ordinance levying assessments on property located within improvement area number 1 of the Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District, directing the filing of the proposed improvement area number 1 assessment roll with the city secretary to make available for public inspection, directing city staff to publish and mail notice of said public hearing, and resolving other matters incident and related to thereto.
so these next two items relate to the Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District. So Mr. Friedman will address those two items. And I also see the developer here, Bart Brazelton, in case you have any
Oh,
questions.
there he is. Okay.
Good evening again. Andrew Friedman with Samco Capital Markets. Also joined by the city's PID administrator, P3 Works, who has compiled this preliminary service and assessment plan, who can go through that plan as you wish. You also have Mr. Brazelton here for the developer. This is the next step in working towards the financing as they're financing the internal improvement, streets, sidewalks, drainage, for the first phase of this Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District.
Okay.
Good evening. Excuse me. Kyle Chapman with P3 Works, the city's PID administrator. So the item before you tonight is just what we call the cost determination resolution. So it makes a probable finding of $6,013,695 in authorized improvements that have been paid upfront by the developer, and calls for a public hearing, at which point you would consider, after the public hearing, the levy of the assessment. So tonight we are not levying any assessment on the property. It's just calling a public hearing and noticing for that levy ordinance, which would be considered after the public hearing on April 20th.
No? Any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess people that don't know how this works, this has absolutely nothing to do with any funding from the city. This is all private funding. Nothing comes out of the general fund. This is all this is all on the developer's end.
That's correct. So essentially what we're working to is the issuance of PID bonds, which will be backed by assessments. Those assessments are paid for by the property owners within that district based on the special benefit conferred by the infrastructure that the developer is paying to fund. PID bonds are not city debt. They're not funded with any ad valorem taxes or any funds from the city's general fund. And the administration costs for the PID are paid as part of that annual installment, so it does not, the city does not pay any money out of their general funds to administer the PID over the 30 years of PID bonds either.
Right. Thank you for explaining that. Okay. Well, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve on a resolution determining the costs of certain authorized improvements to be financed within Improvement Area 1 of the Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District, approving a preliminary service plan and assessment plan, including a proposed improvement area number 1 assessment roll, noticing a public hearing to consider an ordinance levying assessments on property located within Improvement Area number 1 of the Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District, directing the filing of the proposed Improvement Area number 1 assessment roll with the city secretary to make available for public inspection, directing the city staff to publish and mail notice of said public hearing, and resolving other matters incident and related thereto.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to consider and act on a resolution approving the form and authorization, the distribution of a preliminary limited offering memorandum for the City of Aransas Pass, Texas Special Assessment Revenue Bond Series 2026, Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District, Improvement Area number 1 project, and resolving other matters incident and related thereto.
Okay.
This is also related to that Aransas Oaks Public Improvement District. The preliminary limited offering memorandum is the offering document that the bond underwriter will use to generate interest from bond investors for this debt. I think a copy of that plum, as it's referred to, is in your agenda packet, a very thick document, several hundred pages long, describing this offering, and you'll notice in bold letters in several places throughout this document that these are not obligations of the city of Aransas Pass, that the bond investor can only look to the assessments paid by owners within that public improvement district towards the repayment of these bonds. The rest of the document describes the development itself, describes the developer, and will be used to solicit interest from bond investors throughout the country when we go to price this here in a few weeks. So with that, again, happy to answer any questions that you all may have, but this is the next step in order to work towards that financing. And also to mention that I think inadvertently on that agenda item, just past where you were reading, was an item completely unrelated to this. That was a scrivener's error.
It was
of some
scratched
kind.
out.
Right. Okay, all right.
I
so-
move that the city council adopt a resolution approving the form and authorizing the distribution of preliminary limited offering memorandum.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna consider an act on the approval of allocating hotel occupancy tax funds in the amount of $2,500 for the creation of a mural at Aransas Pass Community Park concession stand.
All right. I'm Malik Jones, Director of Community Enrichment, Mayor Council. Hope y'all doing all right today. So,
Very good.
real quick, I think Sal was nice enough to make some copies for you guys so you can see the mural that we want Mr. Danny Daly home to paint. I know he's done quite a few around town. He gave us 3 different options, but the one on the front with the panther, the softball, and the baseball is by far probably the best one to kind of add a little eye appeal to the softball fields out there.
Maybe Jason will throw a little harder and get that mural on there.
That'd be pretty good.
That's
huh?
cool.
That is
That's
neat.
good.
I like it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to consider an act on the approval of allocating hotel occupancy tax funds in the amount of $2,500 for the creation of a mural at Aransas Pass Community Park concession stand.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right,
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna consider an act to award hotel occupancy tax funds for year 2026 to applicants who submitted requests by the filing deadline of March 31st, 2026.
So, for the record,
I gotta go on the
Mayor Knight has filed a conflict of
Yeah.
interest or disclosure form. I'm not, excuse me, be participating in the discussion of the Coastal Cowboys application. We'll call you back in whenever we're finished with that. Mayor Pro Tem Haskins will take over proceedings.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
He'll be taking over proceedings while he's out.
Try it again.
You'll be taking over proceedings while he's out?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Okay, we have anybody to talk to us about this?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's all for tonight do not sound like whatever blew in with this front is killing me slowly. But I'm coming off of a child who didn't go to sleep after consuming way too much sugar and allergies. But I'm going to try my best to speak loud and clear for y'all, okay? Okay, my name is Siobhan Allen, and I am here on behalf of the Coastal Cowboys Project and our applications for the Hot Tax Revenue Fund distribution. I would open by just asking, how many of you have seen Fixer Upper with Chip and Joanna Gaines? How many of you have seen Duck Dynasty or Gold Rush or a reality series of that type? Probably everybody. Our project is essentially a reality series that is based in the Coastal Bend, and it focuses on sort of big boys money, big boy toys, and the search for this very well historically documented Treasure from the Singer family, and we went into production of that show. And it's going really well. We have some really exciting things happening. But one of the most exciting things is that we've been able to film a good portion of it right here in Aransas Pass. And we've had an opportunity to film at Dorado's, at Commercial Street Ice House, I think a little bit off of Ransom Island, and then some shots here in town. And so today we're coming to you with our hot funds application because we're seeking some hot funds to continue to promote and advertise Aransas Pass as the earmarked destination for this project and to promote tourism for people to come here based on seeing that show. It's been a really exciting week for our team. We have several networks at the table that have been bidding on our project, and we are yet to select which one we will go with, but the good news is that we do have bids, which means we are greenlit. I will lead by saying that I am very familiar with the Texas Tax Code. It's Chapter 531. It talks about how hot funds are to be used, and I know that every dollar has to be examined, and it's incredibly regulated. We are looking at using hot funds under Category C, which is advertising and marketing, specifically by creating specific content to encourage and promote tourism from people outside of Aransas Pass to come to Aransas Pass to stay overnight and to see and experience and sort of stay and play where the cast of Coastal Cowboys stay and play and where the series is filmed. We have a phenomenal production team. The head of our production is Tori Hart. I don't know if you're familiar, well, you're probably familiar with Kevin Hart. Their media company, Heart to Heart Media, is involved, and she is our executive producer. They've made several trips down, and we wrapped filming on our first episode last week, and that was a very long week. I did not realize how many hours went into filming television crammed into 1 week, and I can tell you I'm not built for going to bed at 3 a.m. But we managed to finish it, and in doing so, we started really looking at how we could use this platform to positively shape our communities. My background is a lot of in the philanthropy network, and I do a lot of nonprofit fundraising, fund development, and then prior to that, I managed a court for Nueces County, so I'm very familiar with the obligations that you all have to your budget and your line items. We have already paid for our production costs, so we pay about $47,000 per episode. That is the cost to film, and we have already paid that, so we don't owe any money at this point. We are asking for $57,000 in hot funding. That would be used to create short form content, some of it in 15 to 30 second increments that would be used for short form advertising and media production, as well as content that would be 1 to 3 minutes in length. We would run social media campaigns and additional deployments to encourage people to come to Aransas Pass. Right now you're poised as the gateway to the Coastal Bend, and because Texas geographically is so large, and we would be a streaming television show on a large network, so you're talking an average of 8 to 14 million viewers per episode in the first season with an expectation to grow from there. You're looking at people from all over the world, all over the United States, and a lot of people don't realize the proximity Aransas Pass has to other well-known destinations here. So they don't realize you're literally a stone's throw from Port Aransas or Rockport or Portland or Corpus Christi, where there are lots of world-class attractions that are getting a ton of foot traffic. I looked at your hot revenue reports over the last several years, and instead of trending upward, they're actually trending downward. So you were in the $400,000 a year range in 22-23, and since then you've dropped into the upper $300,000 range. I know that shrimpery is a fabulous economic driver for the city of Aransas Pass, and I'm an old school Port Aransas girl. I grew up there. 2 of my siblings were literally born in Port Aransas before the ambulance could come, and I remember the Port Aransas of yesterday when there were 1,200 residents and I graduated in a class of 48 kids. Aransas Pass has so much potential and beauty and opportunity to offer, and this is a really fantastic opportunity to put that on the map. Our production team also includes Brad Freeland, who is here with us, and he has been an executive producer on a CMT reality TV series. We also have offers in from the same production company that brought 90 Day Fiancé or Capital Life. So we have some really big players at the table. We're coming to Aransas Pass for a number of reasons. Number one, when you have a platform of this magnitude, It is a waste of opportunity if you don't find a way to make it impact your community directly. We film at Aransas Pass. We film at Commercial Street Ice House. I don't know if any of you know Amanda Slaughter or Donnie Nessaloni or Flush Naylor is his stage name. He wears overalls. They're painted. It's hilarious. They are featured on the show, as well as several other people from right here at Aransas Pass. And our goal is to make Aransas Pass a tourism destination year-round. Shrimpery is a fabulous economic driver, but when it's over, the crowds leave. Hot revenue is not intended to stay in your community and sustain local residents or to provide entertainment for local residents only. The intention behind hot funding is to bring out-of-town guests into your community and for them to spend their money here and for them to have room night stays here. And so when you start looking at what you would typically spend your hot funding on, I know that I've been on the drive between Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and here, and I've seen a couple of Visit Aransas Pass billboards. I worked in the nonprofit sector for a while now. Granted, the billboard companies were gracious with us and they gave us a deal, but I know that a billboard on average is somewhere between $2,500 and $4,500 a month, depending on placement. You also have to pay for someone to design it. It also has to be installed, and those run monthly. Sometimes they'll give you a year at a time. What you would spend on 2 billboards that you're hoping a car drives by, looks up at the right moment, connects to whatever your media is, and then that person decides to go and do research further on your location. For less than that, what we're offering is evergreen content on a streaming platform. On average, if we had 10 million visitors, your CPM, which is your measurement tool to say your cost per milli, which isn't really a million, it's 1,000. I don't know why we're still using Latin, but anyway, your cost per 1,000 averages about $25 to $45 on a streaming network. That's what you pay for commercials. So what we're offering to you at this $57,000 mark is something that traditionally you would pay between $250,000 and $500,000 for. Part of our contingency when we put our show together was that it would be family friendly in as much as it could also be salty and colorful and feature the character and the charisma that is our community. So there's not going to be overt profanity. It's not going to be those things. It's really going to follow a group of 6 gentlemen and their pursuit of finding this treasure. And it also features 2 couples and the wives as we navigate our husbands being pulled into this never-ending pursuit. But we also are an eclectic cast. We feature Latinas, we feature African Americans, we feature young, we feature old, we feature functional marriages, we feature people that are dating, and all of it is shot right here in the Coastal Bend, but a large predominant portion would be shot in Aransas Pass. Y'all, I apologize. To give you sort of a comparative analysis to make it make sense for somebody that hasn't spent months poring over, is this really the best use of our time? And do we really want to open our lives up to the whole public? I'll give you a short form version. If you're familiar with Duck Dynasty, West Monroe, Louisiana did not have a tourism base, period. They were not a tourism destination. They didn't even begin to offer what Aransas Pass offers. From the moment that they started filming that show in West Monroe, within the first 2 years, they had a 60% increase in overnight stays and tourism. And after that, more of the Duck Commander tours and specific tourism-based activities came to fruition from people in that community. You also can look at Waco, Texas, which is where Chip and Joanna Gaines, they started filming Fixer Upper. Waco had a reputation. It had Baylor, which was great. It was unfortunately well known for some other more nefarious things, but it wasn't specifically a tourism destination. If you go there now, thank you so much. Does it sound as bad as I think? Thank you. If you go there now, people go and travel there to the silos, to Magnolia Market, to the bakeries. They have had a massive influx in overnight tourists as well as small businesses that are sustainable throughout the year. I was raised in Port Aransas in the late 80s, early 90s. My mother was a waitress. My father was a boat captain. I can remember we could go out to eat in the summertime and the spring, but when it came to fall and winter, there were a lot of hot dog and chicken dinners because the money tightens up as the tourism fades. This offers year-round access to tourism. Unlike a billboard, unlike a commercial, unlike an ad campaign that is limited, what we're offering to Aransas Pass is actually to be woven into the storyline and featured at the close of the episode. And what that means is if Lulu watches the episode today, she's going to see the commercials that someone is paying for today. But if she gets together later with Elise and they're having a girls' night at her house 6 months from now, the commercials you see watching the same episode are going to be different, right? This isn't a commercial. This series is produced in partnership with the City of Aransas Pass, with a QR code or on a streaming network, a clickable link that says, find out more about how you can stay where the Coastal Cowboys is filmed. Find out how you can go there and search for treasure. It's evergreen in the fact that you can watch season 1 of Duck Dynasty through the end of Duck Dynasty whenever you want to, on whatever device you have in your hand, in a waiting room, at your kid's soccer game when they're riding the bench like my kids did for a long time, and nobody has to know, right? So in 2023, you guys are at $446,000 a year in hot revenue. It dropped to 382, came back up a little bit, and it was at 368. There's a number of ways you can spend your hot funds, right? And the state has guidelines that specify exactly how they have to be used. We have 2 applications in with you. One of them is in category C, which is marketing and advertising. That's where we want to weave Aransas Pass into not only the storyline specifically of the series, but at the back end of the series, so that every single episode at its close will say it is produced in partnership with Aransas Pass. We have an opportunity now to do for our community before we get in a network agreement where they're selling commercials to PepsiCo and whoever else, right? We want to bring that forward to Aransas Pass because at the end of the day, these are families that live here, work here, build businesses here, and we want them to be sustained throughout the year. The other application that we have in with you all, thank you for your patience, is for a street festival. So we love what Shrimpery does, and I saw some other really fantastic opportunities. I saw Feeding Frenzy on there. I saw some other great applications in. What we want to do is we want to have a street festival running, down Commercial Street and beyond that really showcases Aransas Pass at its finest and their partnership with Coastal Cowboys. We want to film part of that, and we want to offer that as an opportunity for people who have gotten excited about the show, because when you talk about these shows, they're paying between $250,000 and $450,000 per episode. So on the low end, it's $3 million per season, and they want 2 seasons at 12 episodes each. We're offering season 1, this $57,000 to be woven in and intentionally placed at the close of each episode. And then what we want to do as the network pushes the marketing and advertising and the hype for the show, because they make their money on PepsiCo and Nike and Cheetos and those, they push really hard to get viewership up, right? So they can sustain that marketability throughout the season. We want to catapult on that, and we want to have something here that really celebrates Aransas Pass and everything that you all have to offer, and we want to share in funding that with you. So it's obviously going to cost substantially more than $10,000 or $20,000, but $10,000 would allow us to really feature Aransas Pass prominently. On a conservative end, even if we only saw a 10 or 15% increase in your tourism, that's a substantial amount of money for restaurants, hotels, businesses, with people staying on average 2 to 4 nights, and it would create a sustainable tourism economy that would be year-round. And I think right now, you take the ferry from Port Aransas to Aransas Pass, and you see the same dolphins that you do going from Aransas Pass to Port Aransas. We want more people coming here and seeing on that show. You can stay here and get to Rockport in 10 minutes. You can stay here and see the dolphins and ride the ferry to Port Aransas, but come back at night, and you can stay at the Candlewood Suites, or you can stay at a hotel here and have a fantastic time. Go eat at Barracuda's, go see Con Brown Harbor. There's a lot to see and do here, and this is a great platform for you guys. So that covers our 2 applications. I'm open to any questions that you have, but I really appreciate your time, and I'm very, very excited that we can bring this opportunity to Aransas Pass.
Thank you. And on behalf of myself, I'd like to say thank you for highlighting Aransas Pass in the manner which you have. Personally, it means a lot to me.
It's a beautiful place, and I really believe you're the gateway to so many already well-known places, and I want to put Aransas Pass on the map.
Have you reached out to other communities for hot funds?
We spoke, not for hot funds. We spoke with Visit Corpus Christi briefly. They have a new film commissioner who came in at the beginning of February, and we spoke with their film commission, but they do things on reimbursements for receivables. So now that we've paid the $47,000 for episode 1 production, we can then take our receipts for money spent in the community and others, and then they have a staggering and a tiering system for what percentage they can reimburse based on what our local spending is and what our tourism impact is, but it's not the same as hot funding. Hot funding is separate.
Okay.
Port Aransas would probably be very interested, but they already have a really large saturation of tourism. They're spending millions of dollars on, we're the official beach of the Cowboys and these other things. And it doesn't make sense to put an opportunity such as this in front of a community that isn't struggling in the winter months or that is not looking for an economic injection that would help sustain businesses in the same way that it really would impact thousands of families' bottom line in Aransas Pass. And part of our agreement with the show is it's going to follow the story of myself and Mr. Freeland and his wife and my husband. And we have some philanthropic endeavors that we do together. And the primary one we work on throughout the show is funding the Texas Transplant Network. So we both offered to give an organ to the same friend of ours who then matched with Brad, got his transplant, managed to live, and he formed this foundation. And I had a family member as well. Each episode is going to be dedicated to a different nonprofit in the Coastal Bend. And out of a 12-episode season, that will inevitably, of course, impact nonprofits in Aransas Pass. And we will have a QR code where anybody viewing would have an opportunity to give. And that was sort of my caveat for saying I'm going to open up my private life and let people see more about me. But I wanted to make sure it was true to who we are and our roots. We've been so fortunate to get to film at Commercial Street Ice House. They have been incredible, and we've gotten a lot of your community members in. We filmed a little bit at Barracudas, and there's some great Dorados. We're Barracuda Productions. It's a lot of Dayquil, guys. I'm doing the best I can. We're really excited about it, and I think that it's a great opportunity now that Aransas Pass really sees what they want. They don't really want to be like Port Aransas because they grew really fast. This is an opportunity to really frame out exactly what parts of your community you want to highlight and share it on a national and international scale. Which is, you have an international airport within, an hour of you. You should be influxed with tourists. What? But I'm saying within an hour is not common. So the Gold Rush series that's in Alaska, it is incredibly remote. They saw a 40% increase in tourism, and people had to take little Sansa planes, and the way that streaming television impacts communities is tremendous. It is tremendous. So, and I know that you have McCampbell Airport too for private planes. I know that one. So if you have any questions, I would love to give my best effort at answering. I know I submitted a 37-page packet that has been given to the council, and it's online as well, and it outlines a lot of this. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
One of the things I think Brad had talked about too is after the episodes is doing a nonprofit, highlighting a nonprofit.
Every single episode.
Every single episode. So that's real important
Every single episode,
too.
and we've already vetted a couple in Corpus Christi. So my background, I was with CASA, the Coastal Bend, as their fund development person for a number of years. And if you haven't volunteered to become a CASA, please reach out to Paige Hall. But anyway, we will feature a different nonprofit every episode, including some from Aransas Pass, and that's another place where we would welcome input.
Yeah.
Anybody have questions?
We have some local churches and stuff that do things and outreach and stuff that would be great to highlight those. And I like that it's like a faith-based type program. There's no cursing. There's
we spoke with a production company. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't something where they turned it into kind of tawdry or saucy reality. And as a group, we like to say grace before meals, but we're not inherently overwhelmingly religious. But the great part of it is Brad's wife, Linda's got, double masters, a strong Latina woman, and they've been very successful in life, but she provided a lot of that success and wealth on her own. And so it's great to showcase that. And it's great to showcase that we have sort of salt of the earth people, and then we have people that live a little bit above, the average, but they all come together on an even playing field. Our production company is 95% African American out of Atlanta and LA. We have cast members that are Black, cast members that are Hispanic, cast members that are young, old men and women. And we really want to showcase that Texas doesn't fit the stereotype of, exclusion or, division that I think that a lot of the time we get miscategorized in the media as. So it's a great opportunity to see, as people on the Coastal Bend, we really have a remarkable place that we get to live, and there's a really eclectic group of people here, and it's exciting to see. It really is. And I have a sizzle reel that I can show to council, but because we're still in the bid process, I can't release it to any recorded media because, we got to keep our value up. Eyes on the prize.
Absolutely.
But I would be happy to show it to you all in like a closed chambers if you'd like to see it.
I think everyone's in agreement that it's a great concept. I think that we love what it can hopefully do for the community. I think the biggest thing is when it comes to the hot funds is that we have to make sure that we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's to make sure that we're following the law. And I think the biggest issue that I see right now is that we don't have assurance that the show is picked up in what exactly is going to be shown. So as far as I want to get some recommendations. I know Sal's done a lot of work in getting information for us on everything, so I want to hear his recommendations definitely. But I think that on some of a lot of this is going to have to be done in arrears, because we have to be able to see that it is picked up, it's showed, what the episodes are showing.
Sure.
To be able to justify spending that money, and then if we were to get audited, we can say, no, this was done. It wasn't just
100%.
lost on a cutting room floor.
So the biggest thing when you look at hot tax is it's not going to be used for general filming purposes, right? Because that isn't what hot tax revenue is designed for.
Yeah, we can't use it for the production.
It has to be used for marketing and advertising. It can be used for the production of marketing and advertising content. The remarkable part about it is we already have this humongous platform to deploy it from. We already have marketing and advertising experts from large-scale networks. We haven't signed a contract yet, but we have bids on the table, so we will be picked up. We already have 2 competitive bids that would more than meet our cost for production. We're just waiting on the next couple to come in, because everybody wants the highest bid, right? That's the goal, the check with the most zeros.
Yeah.
But we definitely would be more than happy to, provide a metric for tracking room night revenue and expenses and all of those things, because every dollar should be looked at twice, and I'm glad that you have that concern. It's public money.
I mean, I think that's the biggest concern.
Yeah, so if I could just, from the top, and this goes for all the applicants, we have to hit 2 criterias. And first is that every expenditure must directly enhance and promote tourism and the convention and hotel industry. 2 is every expenditure of hotel occupancy tax must clearly fit into one of 9 statutorily provided categories, and they're all listed there. I won't go ad nauseam. So the first application was submitted for $57,000, and that was under marketing. So let's see. Yes, it was submitted under paying for advertising solicitation. However, after examining the application, and just so everyone knows, all these applications were run through the ringer. City manager, city attorney. We even reached out to the Texas Hotel and Lodging Association to consult with them on all these applications to see if and how they would fit. Of course, when you get into the gray area, it's usually not recommended that you move forward. In the instance of the first application, the recommendation is that we have a new application submitted once the show hits the air, to ensure that the content focuses on Aransas Pass as a destination, and to show receipts for advertising the show. This type of project may fall under expenditures that promote the arts. However, hot funds cannot be used to cover production costs. When you said that before. And again, the Hotel Lodging Association was consulted on this particular assessment.
And so to clarify the gray area and to make it a little more black and white, it wouldn't be different than designing and deploying a billboard, or than filming and shooting a commercial, which then was put on the air. There's always going to be a production cost associated with any type of large-scale marketing or advertising. But this type of advertising would be specifically tailored and intended to market and drive tourism for Aransas Pass. The way that we are able to do it at a cost-effective rate is because we are in production and we already have a crew that we are already paying to house, to feed, to have on site. If we were to do it retroactively, like you suggested, number one, we'd have to go back to the network, and then they might consider wanting Aransas Pass to pay a competitive market advertising cost, which then you're looking at about $250,000. We do have a pilot, and we do have, the episode 1, and we do have a sizzle reel that we are happy to share with you. I just can't do it on a recorded platform because it's proprietary right now, right? But the hot funds would specifically and solely be used for the promotion of tourism and overnight stays in Aransas Pass. We would be borrowing resources from our production costs that we are footing already. So you would come out to about $4,750 per episode across 12 episodes, and you would be netting the equivalent of between $250,000 and $500,000 worth of advertising, and it would be shot in 4K with top-tier producers out of LA that have worked with Kevin Hart and all sorts of other really high-end reality shows. So it is definitely an opportunity not to be missed. I don't know that we could offer it retroactively, if I'm being completely transparent with you, because that's going to then affect the value of our advertising dollars in the rest of the market. But, you know, like I said, we're welcome to share our sizzle reel with you and those sort of things to let you see. A sizzle reel is like a 4-minute, by the way. It's like a little preview reel. But I don't know that we could do it retroactively. We can amend the application to clarify if that's something that you need. But once the show is on the air, the episodes have already been shot. And what we're offering is to film your content and produce your content while we're already filming ours. So to go do that retroactively, cost effective wise, it's $47,000 an episode before we pay any talent or anybody else. And to get people here to put them up, all those things, we wouldn't be able to do it retroactively because obviously, you know, we wouldn't have the same length of time. And it would include deliverables back to the city that you all could use through your chamber or your visitors bureau.
You had talked about an impact study before.
I'm sorry?
You had talked about an impact study.
Yes, it's included in the 37 pages that I brought you that show this is what the impact was in other similar markets, one in Texas, one with a similar vibe, and then another one that showed what happens like in Alaska, which is remote, to show that tourists will come. Inevitably, they find a way without regard for how far or difficult it is, but you are neither that far nor that difficult to reach, and that's why we think it would be a really great economic driver for you all.
And you're right, it's a great opportunity, but because of how the law is written and because of the obligation of council, it's very black and white. So I guess the variables here are you don't have a deal yet, right?
We haven't formalized a deal. We have offers, so we will move forward. We just
right, and you have a pilot, right? So I just play devil's advocate here. Worst case scenario, you get picked up by a network. They decide, we don't like this cut, we want it cut like this. All the tourism part of Aransas passes out. That's possible, right?
No. So I'm glad you asked that. So our production team, the way that we've structured the show, specifically because it pulls into our private lives as well, is we have Barracuda Productions, and then there's Heart to Heart, Heart Abel's Productions. We retain 70% ownership of the show and everything that comes from it. And so we have an executive producer role, and we have final cut say on the show.
Okay.
So we absolutely make that decision, but it wouldn't change the content already existing and being available for deployment places other than just the show. But there's not a way they could cut it where they would remove produced in partnership with the city of Aransas Pass at the end. And that's what makes it evergreen advertising versus campaign-based advertising.
Okay. Could this move forward with the understanding that only hot funds would be received should the show be absolutely picked up?
We wouldn't accept hot funds prior to having a deal in place, because if we're not going directly into production, then we would not be able to deliver on that promise. And Aransas Pass is a relatively small municipality as far as your financial reach goes, and I understand that your hot funding is a limited resource. We would ask that you earmark it so that when we're ready, that you guys can take advantage of it. It's a very opportunity.
You would
very good.
only take the hot funds 100% shows picked up.
Right. Once we finalize the deal, we know
Once you finalize the deal.
when we're moving forward. Some series, they want to film all the episodes in one. Some they want to do half and then see which episodes the audience reacts to the most, and then they lean into those stylings more. But we wouldn't accept money from a municipality with the intention to benefit you if we weren't sure we could deploy what we are asking for. I mean, and that's any marketing campaign, there's a risk. You don't know how many people are going to see your billboard and act on it. You don't know if the photographer that thought it was great is going to align with all the people driving by. I mean, it's always a risk, but we would never ask you to give us a check and not have any way to, honor our obligation. That's crazy. Never.
Mary, if we don't give them money unless they get picked up, is that even something possible, or is that something that we can put this, table it and talk to the attorneys and?
That's what I would recommend right now, is what
What Sal,
Hernandez or Sal has been recommending also, is that at this point, we wait until see the show's picked up.
Yeah, if we can get, see a contract that y'all are moving forward, I think that
And
would
we
change
know what the
things.
content is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had some conversations, and I wish I could play it openly right now. But what I would tell you is basically what we are seeking is a provisional or an earmarked allocation. So I know you have limited resources to allocate out. As we build the show and we plan our filming schedules when our production team is here, we'd like to know ahead of time if it's an opportunity Aransas Pass can take advantage of so that we can plan accordingly.
I had a question. You had mentioned earlier that a substantial part of this filming is done in Port Aransas. What's the percentage that's going to be filmed here in Aransas Pass?
No, not a substantial amount is done in Port Aransas. A substantial amount has been done in Aransas Pass.
Okay.
No, I think we filmed a couple of scenes shopping and eating lunch in Port Aransas, but the bulk of them are filmed actually out. We have some on Commercial Street at the Ice House, and we have some at Dorado's. But a lot of it is filmed along the coastline and in your wildlife areas and in traveling across the ferry and really capturing the guy's journey to and from different locations that they're working with looking for this treasure.
So we would not recommend earmarking any funds until we know that the project has been picked up by a network and we know what the content is. Then at that time, they can come back and the council could consider, funding
And
X
if
amount of
the
dollars.
money's still there, no problem.
Right, and I understand that. We were trying to respect your deadline of March
Yeah.
31st, knowing that if we didn't reach out now, then the opportunity to do this at season 1 would be missed because the opportunity doesn't come up again for a whole year. So it's definitely something that we're willing to revisit, like at your next council meeting, or if you have a special meeting, we should know within the next 2 weeks.
That's exciting.
I think that would be
It's
great.
so exciting.
That's so
You guys have
exciting.
no idea. It's super, super exciting.
Yeah.
Very
I'd like
much.
to, I'd like to do that if we can.
Then
Can
we
we-
can
Yeah.
we can just postpone this request.
We can postpone this one, that would be great. Okay,
You
yeah,
wanna-
we'd like
Yeah,
to see that.
because
Y'all
And
get-
I can tell you, it's a wholesome show. My husband's also an elected official, and he is on the show as well. So I can assure you, we're not filming or producing anything that will will cost him votes. Okay, so it's going to be wholesome.
Yeah, we'd like to
Gonna
see
be
y'all
nice.
picked up and then see the contract and
Can we just
what you can
okay,
show
so
us.
what you can do is, I guess, as soon as y'all have the signature, the contract in place,
Sure.
could you reach out to Mary and then at that point come back?
Of course.
So that we can move forward with the hot funds request.
Yes, we
And
want to
then
make
that
it
gives
as
us time
easy
to
for
research a
Aransas
little.
Pass as
I feel like
possible.
that would be
Postpone.
probably the best,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And she'll reach out to you.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and so we had the other application was for
Yep.
a street festival for July,
So
August.
both of them.
So if you want to put them both on
Both of them.
hold, and then hopefully by the close of next week, we're going to have our
I
deals
think-
finalized, and we'll tell you what network we're all going to be on.
Yes,
And I would
I
sug-
think
I
it
would
was
suggest
very
that-
informative to really give the public all the information that you just gave us, because a lot of it has been very surface based as like a show. We're just going to give money freely willy to just somebody wanting to do a show. So it's really good that you came with
Yeah,
all
public dollars don't work that way,
You
so.
came with all the facts.
Yeah, and we're an open book. So if we reconvene and people have other questions, and if you need to vet it through legal, this sort of use of hot funds has happened before. And so I think that it's a great opportunity to put Aransas Pass on the map in front of millions of people for less than the cost of a couple of billboards. And it's evergreen versus for a year, and so I think it's a fantastic investment. Just let me know when you guys want to reconvene, and I'll let you know when we have a deal. And then we'll
Yep.
see if we can get Aransas Pass in front of the whole country and the rest of the world.
I was just going to suggest
so
that
much.
we
Josh,
Hold on.
that we
you wanna
need
talk?
to.
Sal's talking.
I would suggest that we get new applications, because the way that initial application was submitted, you submitted production costs that equated the amount you were asking for, so that's why it got confusing.
Oh, we were trying to example that we had paid production costs, and that it's a way to show you that each episode costs about $47,000. That's the baseline without paying talent or anything else. We wanted to example to you that we have already actually paid for that. We're not looking for a reimbursement,
Okay.
and this wouldn't cover the production of 12 episodes,
So
right?
so just so you know, that's why I would like to see another application, because that was
Yes.
confusing.
Well, an application is tricky to fill out because it's not plug and play, so
Right.
I will work on that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
All right.
Motion for it? Okay, somebody's going to speak.
Well, we'll see after the meeting, okay? I like your wife, okay?
I know.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is this something else or the same thing, Josh?
Same thing, Andy. Same.
Okay.
You know I love you guys, but sometimes few things that make y'all upset with me.
Never.
My name is Joshua Tijerina, and I've got to be honest, it's been a long, long day for me. I wasn't meant to be here in the city today or at this council meeting tonight. My son is at the end of his 4-day Easter break, and unfortunately, my wife and I got divorced some years ago, so I see him weekends and holidays. And today was the last day of his Easter holiday, and we had planned to cook steaks at home. But I've been on the phone all day, and I was asked to come here to talk about certain hot funds requests. So I'm going to say my piece, and then I'm going to get out of here and go home and still try to see him. There are consequences that come with every single hot fund distribution. Oversight from yourselves, from the city attorney, the city secretary, the city manager, but most importantly, the state of Texas. I know everybody likes saying that this is y'all's money, this is our money, but it's the state's money, to be quite honest. It's not the citizens of Aransas Pass money. It's not Nueces or San Pat County or Aransas County's money, it's the state's money. And the city council and this city is meant to be fiduciaries of those funds. So Siobhan and I obviously know each other. She knows my wife. I tried to buy one of her businesses last year, didn't go through. But so we do have an acquaintance, and I did speak with her today. I spoke with my owners. They spoke with certain people in Austin, and I was asked to come down here and speak. So, according to everything we've heard and seen, not too much of this, and I really appreciate the city secretary and his diving into this, because he said was on my tongue. Not a lot of this passes the sniff test. It is a great idea. I love it. It needs to happen, whether y'all give them money for production or advertising or not. It should happen. But that email on the second page lists about 5 or 6 bullet points that Visit Corpus Christi is requiring because of hot tax funds. So they have been shopping this around. If you read that email, it specifically says, "We appreciate your enthusiasm for showcasing Corpus Christi and the confidence you've expressed in positioning our community on a national stage. Has a publicly accountable destination marketing organization." That is a big word for saying as an entity that controls hot funds and distributes them. "Our investment decisions must be tied to measurable tourism outcomes. Without these elements in place, it's not possible for us to invest. Specifically, we would be interested in reevaluating participation once the following are achieved. A distribution agreement, which, as we heard tonight, does not exist. A formal series greenlit and released. That does not exist. A complete pilot and sizzle reel. That does. A detailed marketing and promotion plan from the platform. That I am unaware of. I am unaware. I don't know if y'all have it. I'm just saying this is me speaking, okay? A clearly defined, contractually secured destination integration deliverables. I don't see those. A structure that ties sponsorship investment to measurable performance benchmarks." She talked about, looking at heads and beds and all that stuff. Y'all would have to get that stuff from the hotel owners. Nobody else can produce that except for us. Is that my time up or your phone ringing?
Well, if he's allowed, I want you to.
My time up?
No, you go ahead.
So, while I love this idea, hot funds might not be the right vehicle to get this thing going. And if there is an entity or an organization that really, truly is so excited to highlight Aransas Pass, I really don't understand why they're asking for hot funds to get the thing off the ground. If they're going to be filming in 4 other locations, it sounds like your city's going to be paying for advertising for Port Aransas and everywhere else they're going to be filming. I really caution y'all to think twice. I'm not here because I want to be. I'm here because if y'all vote or any of this moves forward, other people are going to be looking at your city.
Well, Josh, that's kind of why I asked if any other cities have been
Yeah, and they all denied it.
confronted.
They all denied it. Every single one of them who has authority to distribute hot funds denied it. So I would really think twice. this is a great idea. Great ideas should get off the ground, and y'all should get behind them. But I'm a big fan of processes. You know, Kayla and I were talking out in the hallway, and if I may say, I don't know if she meant this as an insult or a compliment, but I'm a stickler for the rules. I go by the book because, you know, we collect these hot taxes, we send them back to the state distributes them statewide to every single municipality with the intent to leverage them correctly and effectively. And while everybody has great ideas, not everybody knows how to leverage them correctly and effectively. And y'all need that. If y'all give this money, there is no way to increase your hot funds. You know why? There is one thing that I know of. Your hot funds cannot increase past the maximum they've ever reached. There's one simple reason. There aren't other rooms to rent. Unless myself or somebody else decides to build a hotel, your hot funds aren't going to increase. This TV show can come in here, film, go nationwide, and people can come, but without a place to stay, they're going to stay in Port Aransas, Portland, and Corpus Christi. And those cities will benefit from your investment. Economic development is a big circle, and it's a big cycle. Again, I plead with y'all, even if you don't like me, there's one thing you cannot say about me. I understand hot tax. You cannot say that I do not understand. I understand how this cycle works. That is the only thing I do, and it is the only thing that triggers me to ever get in front of you good people. So I'm pleading with you for this application, and unfortunately, I don't know what the recommendation is going to be on the third one. And I'm sorry, Lulu, but the Rialto, I am begging you to think twice. Please. I am just, think twice. It's the state's money. The state will come looking. And if you have to reimburse it, you can't ask for it back from Shaban or Rialto or anybody else. Once you release that money, the state's going to tell you, give it to us out of your own funds. They're not going to go after it. They're going to go after you. So any amount of money that you distribute that comes out to be misused, double that amount, because that's what you're going to end up losing. So again, if you have questions, come talk to me. Come call THLA, call these people. We are very familiar with how the traffic of this money is supposed to work. So I'm offering myself up for what it's worth. With that being said, I'm gonna go home and try to catch my son before he goes to bed tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
I'm still very interested in having, after the show's picked up, coming back.
What we can
Yes.
do, if you want to make a motion to postpone it.
You all have an email in front of you, and it is from Brooke Kaufman, who I believe, I haven't seen the email, I'm going to assume, because I really
Yeah.
haven't shopped this around. It is from Brooke Kaufman, who is the CEO of Visit Corpus Christi. We had an open meeting with Brooke, with the film commissioner who was new to Corpus Christi, with the lead of his staff, with a city council person, and with another member of Visit Corpus Christi staff. We did not go in specifically discussing hot tax revenue or anything of that nature. We went in talking to them about the film industry, and also Visit Corpus Christi has an advertising budget where they purchase advertising, right? Initially, the bulk of the show was going to be filmed in Padre Island. Since that time, we've shifted, and we've been filming in Aransas Pass, and I think of the episode that we have created so far, about 65% of it occurs in Aransas Pass. The other side of that is this. Every hotel and every accommodation in Aransas Pass is unequivocally not sold out every single night. Hot revenue is specifically and only allowable to be spent to generate room nights from people outside of your location to travel to your location and stay there. So until every hotel is sold out, you would either table all hot funds because apparently there are no rooms to rent, or you would consider opportunities to bring in outside tourism. We have spoken with the Corpus Christi Film Commissioner, and we absolutely would accept reimbursements because we've personally paid for the initial part of production. That's entirely different. That goes through the state, also has a film commission. And that's a completely different process, and it's not a process, my knowledge is not that Aransas Pass has a film commissioner. If you do, please give them my number. But as it pertains specifically to hot tax revenue, we did not sit down and shop hot tax to Aransas Pass, Port Aransas, Rockport, Corpus, everyone else. We started filming here, and we decided that we would use our platform to elevate your city, and that's where this came from. And I actually really do appreciate Josh, and he's a very powerful voice in a lot of arenas, but every room night in Aransas Pass is not sold out. And so when it is, I guess you stop distributing hot funds. But until then, I think that we should work harder to get them sold out.
Well, and I know we're focusing a lot on hot tax. The other thing we really need to know is that sales tax is also tied into this.
Sure.
And for the entire month of last year, Aransas Pass was in the red.
Well,
the entire
and
month,
I
we had
can't speak to all of
decreased sales
those,
tax.
but what I can speak to is you will have a limited opportunity to apply for the remainder of the year. And so we were sort of pushed to get this application in as quickly as we could with as much information as we had. And so we're an open book. I believe in transparency, but they are public funds. And so our goal is to use your publicly available hot revenue to increase room nights in Aransas Pass through a platform that we can borrow some of our own already paid expenses from to elevate Aransas Pass. And I don't want to be characterized as someone who's not truthful about conversations that we've had, because that doesn't feel true to my character. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Come ahead.
My name is Brad Friedel. I'm one of the executive producers. To clarify, we have on our title, it's Coastal Cowboys in Pursuit of Texas Treasure, and we're going up and down the coast. But we had initially two teams, one team in Padre Island and one here in Aransas Pass. And then Snoopy's Pier and Marker 37 caught fire, and we shifted everything, both teams, to Aransas Pass. So that's the reason why we had two different teams, and it was clarified from the start. And in the show, it's one team is in Padre Island, one team is here, and then the Commercial Street Ice House is our kind of a go-to headquarters every day after on the show. We shifted everything from Snoopy's to Dorado's and started filming there in the morning. So we get started looking at our maps and coming up with a day, and then we film here, and then so everything has been filmed here except for one scene in Port A. So
That's awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Have a motion?
I make a motion to postpone the hot funds, going towards, let's see, marketing for Coastal Cowboy in the Pursuit of the Texas Treasure, and for the Coastal Cowboys kickoff party.
Till when?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm at.
Until Shaban gets the red
Until-
light.
Well, until we get the
Yeah,
green light.
The green light.
I
Till
would-
the red light.
I would say the next city council meeting following her receiving the contract.
Yeah,
So
if
we
you
don't
can
have
let
to
us
have
know
a
once y'all have a
special meeting.
contract, and then we will also do our due diligence between that time too.
I think it's a huge opportunity.
As long
and
as
it would
we
be a
have
huge
72
miss not
business
to do
hours.
something with us.
But, yeah,
Is that
so once y'all
doable?
have the,
When is your May meeting?
First and third Monday of the month.
Siobhan, I have to ask, in full transparency, is it possible, because I've seen this happen before, a network will buy a show, shelve it, because they have a competing show that they already bought? Is that a possibility?
We just wouldn't agree to that, right? So we,
Well, you would know, because they're gonna buy they would buy your show, not tell you, and then shelve it, and then push the other one.
that's not
But-
entirely how it works. I mean, there are a lot of terms that go with
Well, I guess
negotiating
my
the show.
question is, it's possible, right?
It's not an agreement we would enter into. We have networks competing currently, and the conversation is, how can we film it the soonest to get it deployed the fastest? There's an appetite for it. We've not had a conversation regarding a competing show, but I'll take your tip on that, and I'll make sure that it's underlined twice in red. But luckily, we own such a large portion of the show in and of itself that we are at every negotiating table making those decisions, and you don't have to enter into an agreement just because a network offers it to you. So we would go into a production schedule, and we would go into that schedule based on when the show would make air. And
What's
that's
your
all
t-
part of those agreements before they come out. So somebody might be able to buy the intellectual property or the concept of a show for a set price, but we're not having those conversations. We're having a conversation as to the number of seasons and how many episodes and at what deployment strategy, where it's 3 episodes that go out first and then we drop another episode every 2 weeks, or how the network wants to lay it out. But what you're talking about is somebody purchasing intellectual property or the concept of a show for to be produced at a later date. We're in the production phase already, so we're purchasing. We're entering an agreement with the network to actually deploy the show.
What is your target date for?
So there's a couple of ways it can go, and I tried to include both of the examples in the PDF that I gave you. But of course, I mean, it's up to creative liberties of what each network wants. But ideally, we would hit the air probably, I would say November would be the soonest, because we have to film, they have to market and advertise, and then they have to do a really large push. It's possible to go to air sooner than that. And it's also possible for them to say, okay, we're going to go to air in the springtime. You have to keep in mind that the network, once they purchase the episodes, they are then paying for the production of each episode. So they want to recover their money as quickly as possible. They want to shop it to their advertisers before something else better comes along. And also, we keep in mind, when advertising budgets work for fiscal year versus budget year versus quarters and different seasons, as it pertains specifically to entertainment marketing, which is kind of different than your run-of-the-mill tourism marketing. So we're not going to enter into an agreement where anybody purchases our concept, because we want to retain ownership, so that if you buy a bobblehead doll down the road, I want my 10 cents. So
Yeah.
We're not selling our concept off to anybody. And again, until we have an agreement to go forward with production, we just wouldn't accept your money.
So the next meetings are going to be May 4th and May 18th.
May the 4th. Okay. May the 4th be with us. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So we have a motion, we need a second.
Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed?
Postponed until they get a contract.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna get the mayor back.
Yeah, you can bring him back in.
Thank you.
No, tell him to stay out.
Postponed to the next regular meeting after
been
they
gone
get
a
the
while.
contract.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
that doesn't require a special.
you, Sal.
Okay, next one's feeding frenzy. Feeding frenzy's up.
Hi, I'm John Lopez, and I started the Bite Me podcast, and soon thereafter, the Feeding Frenzy, which I do have some copies of what I sent you guys, if you want a hard copy, anybody? Or you
Like
good?
one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like one too. That'd be great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
It's easier to read.
Might as well.
Go ahead and add it to the rest of the stacks of stuff we got.
I mean, my wife did bind them.
Nice of her. Oh, he didn't give you one?
No, you can share yours.
You want one?
I don't need it. Yeah, if you got another one.
I gotta tell you, this has been fun. I really love this process. First of all, thank you for having me and for listening to the story. And it is a story. I don't want to get into your time too much, but the podcast basically was something that myself and Captain Scott Null, who's a captain in Galveston and Port O'Connor, literally started grassroots. I mean, our feet were on the grass leaning against his truck. And I said there's kind of a dearth of fishing podcasts, fishing shows that teach, professionally. And you can get into some of the details on that. But the first month that we did the podcast, we had 27 downloads. The first year, 27,000, and this past year, 500,000. So it's grown leaps and bounds. This year, in January, it was also picked up by the #1 radio station in Houston for sports, Sports Radio 610, which has a footprint of 1.4 million people. Now, I'm going to stop there on what it was. You guys can read about it and how it's grown. We have 77,000 YouTube views this year already, but it's grown leaps and bounds. So I started thinking about how can we make it into something for something bigger. And I've been coming to Aransas Pass since I was probably 4 years old, growing up in San Antonio. I've been in Houston now for 35 years, but growing up in San Antonio. Love this place and started fishing here. And moved here about 4 years ago with a little travel trailer over, ironically, over at the, is that Oaks, what's it called? Where y'all had, yeah. So now I'm living here, here every weekend. And I decided I wanted to have a charitable element. So initially we started the Feeding Frenzy in 2023, just as a thank you to our listeners because the podcast grew so much. And then that first year we had 350 people, this was in Katy, Texas. We had 350 people show up, raised about $30-something thousand. It's in the report that you have. Then I decided to come down to Aransas Pass because I love the place so much. And we went to Coasters, and that year was just over $50,000 that we raised. We had almost 450 people or thereabouts. And this past year, we came to Coasters again and had over 500 people there and raised over $73,000 for 2 organizations. Those organizations are, of course, Heroes on the Water, which helps veterans, first responders, and Texas Boys Outdoors, which helps takes them on outdoor adventures, takes children from Shriners Hospital in Galveston and other places, on outdoor adventures. And it's grown, it's been amazing. But I heard somebody say earlier, heads on beds. This past year, and the data is in front of you, 88% of the people who came to the Feeding Frenzy, excuse me, I've been coughing, I could use some water actually. I've been in here waiting,
right here.
and I don't have any water, so I'm kind of. You wouldn't know that I'm a broadcaster, right?
You wouldn't know that I'm a Lopez.
Oh, there we go. And so, anyway, 88%, all the data is there. We have RSVPs and we have clickers. 88% were from out of town. Candlewood Suites was here earlier. We booked a block of rooms last year at Candlewood Suites, Verbo, all that. So the one thing I do want to get, so I don't take to a lot of your time, is economic impact. A lot of people are like, what can it do for us? If you go to the second to last page. So this is direct economic impact, 2025. Actually, I have a video. Are you ready? Yeah, I have a video that talks about the Feeding Frenzy, and this was the prospectus going into this past year in 2025.
The Bite Me Podcast Feeding Frenzy is an annual celebration of community and charity. It's an annual event born from John Lopez's desire to make the podcast about more than just fishing. Last year at the beautiful Waterfront Event Center, Coasters in Aransas Pass, more than 500 people joined the podcast host for an afternoon of fun, food, and fundraising for a pair of fantastic organizations, Texas Boys Outdoors and Heroes on the Water. These organizations are 2 of the leading foundations that support first responders, wounded veterans, and severely sick or injured patients. More than $50,000 was raised through a number of fantastic silent and live auctions, as well as raffles that included a brand new 21-foot Freedom Warrior boat. Hosting the Feeding Frenzy proved to be a windfall for Coasters, as well as the Aransas Pass and Rockport communities through hotel, Verbo, and Airbnb stays, as well as restaurants and community businesses. Several vendors also took part, and thus far the Feeding Frenzy has had a 100% return rate by vendors year to year. Among the other fun events at the Frenzy included a catered dinner by a local restaurant, games and competition, and hours of mixing and mingling with the hosts. Those hosts, legendary Captain Scott Knoll, Dean Thomas, and Caleb McCumber, and John Lopez. This year's Feeding Frenzy promises to be as big or bigger, as the Bite Me Podcast footprint has grown to nearly 500,000 downloads in the past year, as well as a large YouTube presence with nearly 2,000 subscribers and a Facebook group that is loyal with 10,800 members. There is no doubt that podcast listeners, vendors, sponsors, and of course the community eagerly anticipate another memorable event filled with camaraderie, charity, and celebration. You can be a part of the Bite Me Feeding Frenzy in 2025 by simply reaching out to John Lopez via email at highlytouted@gmail.com. That's highlytouted@gmail.com. The Bite Me Podcast Feeding Frenzy is a celebration you do not want to miss.
So a lot of people are, talking about direct impact, and this is the direct impact of just last year that we put forward, and this is why we're appreciative of any consideration here, because we want it to grow. We want to be able to build, bigger, get more people in. Last year, direct impact, we had $5,967 to the butter churn, because one of the things that I want to do, as I mentioned, I wanted it to be a thank you to our listeners, because the podcast has grown so much. I wanted to show appreciation. So we pay for the first 200 meals of people that RSVP. And so we personally raised the money and paid $5,967 they from the butter churn. They catered it. Obviously, Verbo and other equipment was $5,577. Butler signature events, tents, tables, etc., $1,875. Creations by Hope, $77.79.40. So 85% of the 528 attendees, 448 were from out of town, and that's heads on beds. And we have that documented. I can get you all the other information from our RSVP list, because we do pay for the other meals. They have to email us their RSVP, so we know where they're from. We get the zip codes. So those are people that are coming in. And this year, part of the funds that we're looking to be able to use is to grow it even bigger. We have those two charities, but as I mentioned, I love Aransas Pass. I want to bring an Aransas Pass charity, or at least organization, into the mix. And that is, being a fisherman myself, something with oyster reef, grass restoration, something along those lines. So I'll answer any questions.
Does this qualify?
Yes. So
Let me ask you something first. Where's this going to be held?
Okay, so I forgot to answer that. We tried to get coasters again, and you guys probably know this. They're talking about a renovation. So I do want to try to have it, and this is a separate discussion, at the Shrimpery grounds. And I'm going to try to, part of the direct economic impact, I'm going to add food trucks from Aransas Pass and the area. Tent is going to be bigger, so bigger expense, that type thing. So I don't know how that fits or how that suits you guys, but I wanted to try to find another venue here.
That's not on the water.
No, it's not on the water.
well, that was one clarification I needed. So this was submitted under the sporting events expense, but this isn't a sporting event, right?
I
was under the assumption.
I frankly didn't know where to submit it.
Okay, yeah, it just reading it sounded like it was like a fishing tournament at first, but as we kind of dove in,
gotcha. It's a thank you, and it's just
it's more like a festival.
Probably more along those lines.
Kind of art walk kind of thing, right? Okay. So with that being said, this again is submitted under funding certain expenses, including promotional expenses directly related to a sporting event, which within counties with populations under 100. So if it was a sporting event, it might have qualified, but this falls more under paying for advertising, solicitation, promotions that attract tourists and convention delegates to the city, as the event is presented as a community event fundraiser. So is that fair to say?
Yeah, for the charities that we do, yeah.
Right. But the public can attend, they can shop, they can eat?
Yeah, anybody from the entire area can come in.
Okay.
Again, we pay for 200, and then they're on their own.
Okay. My recommendation basically is to reimburse with the post-event report with receipts, just so we can know that, again, it would only fall under the advertising, so you could use potential funds to reimburse yourself for advertising costs to promote the event. But my recommendation with the history of the hot funds here in Aransas Pass is that just come back with a post-event report with receipts to show that they were expended properly under that category. So I'll leave it. Of course, it's ultimately council's ultimate decision.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree.
I'm not thrilled about the Shrimpery grounds. It seems like it should be on the harbor, right?
I
Like
literally just.
somewhere on the
Well,
harbor.
the trash and the wind on the harbor is not our friend.
Yeah, but this is a contained thing. Like they're not going to be throwing out confetti in the wind. Like
Right.
I don't know.
Well, again, that was just one
It's
that I
just
spitballed.
contingent
That's
on
one
where-
that I spitballed because I just found out last week that
Yeah.
about the renovation. I contacted coasters.
I
Yeah.
think that's a whole nother reason why we need to do in arrears too, just not knowing the location. Let's see it go through and then
Yeah.
bring in
Yeah.
some receipts
Somewhere on
for
the harbor would
advertising
make
it,
more
and we can look
sense.
them over and see which ones qualify.
Right?
Very
I don't
good.
know.
And there wasn't
It's just my thought.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
But it
your
looks like a
question.
nice event.
What about the Civic Center?
Again, I'm open, but Civic Center to me, I'd like to be outdoors.
Yeah, if you decide to hold it at the Shrimpery grounds, that would be a separate request that we need to
Right.
come to
Right,
council.
I figured as
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was an actual, I know it said September 26th, but there was an actual date listed on the application, right?
September 26th is what we're looking at now,
September
but it's
26th.
it's not etched in stone.
Right, but that wasn't on the application initially, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I make sure I didn't miss it. Okay.
Do we need to make a motion, or just, he just comes back?
I'm gonna kind of,
There's no motion. 'cause we don't
I
have
would do a
location.
motion. What are your thoughts, Mr. Isasi?
Your motion can be,
Post-event?
yeah, post-event, contingent on him bringing receipts to the councils, justifying the promotion and advertising that he did on behalf of the city.
All right. Anyone have anything, or do you want me to go ahead?
How much is he asking
Yeah,
for?
How much are you asking for?
It was 15,000.
But we don't have to do the 15,000 until after we get the receipts.
Just a motion to.
And again, we're trying to hope to grow it.
To bring this back after?
Post-event.
Okay. Yeah, we would just look at the receipts then. Okay, well, I make a motion then to bring this back post-event and for reimbursement with receipts and for us to go through it then
Okay?
and to see
To a
what
max
is
of
out.
15,000.
I don't want to put an amount at all.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Do I need to put an amount? No, I'd rather see the receipts and so we can make sure that that's allocated correctly.
Okay.
All right?
do we want a new application, or do we want to?
If we need a new application, that's fine. Whatever it works best for our records. Probably since it's under sporting, we'll need a new
Yeah,
one.
since you
application,
submitted
just
it
to
with
make
the
sure
We'll put it in
sporting-
advertising.
on the correct
Festival.
Cross and
yeah.
I's are dotted.
Yeah,
Very good.
festival.
Okay.
I would say this is more like a
So
festival.
then once we're post-event, then you can come back in front of us and we'll go through the receipts and everything.
Okay.
Okay, all right, we got a motion on the floor. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
If you were to do this at the harbor, which would seem more realistic to me, but do you have people there that can clean up the messes?
Yes, we have volunteers. We did it. You can ask coasters about it. We did it ourselves, all the trash and everything. Yeah. I mean, they had their bins, obviously.
Have you talked with Dorados?
Have not spoken with Dorados yet. Again, like I said, just last week, we found out about the renovation.
Okay.
Harbor sounds great to me. And that property you're talking about is available, the property, the green space?
Well, I think we'd have to bring it here and act on it, wouldn't we, Mary?
I'm sorry.
We'd have to act on it to let them use the harbor.
Yes.
Right, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably
that
where
would
they
be-
do the 4th of July. with-
Yeah, Fish Fest.
I think
and
there's
all
some
that.
options for you.
No,
Yeah.
not the Fish Fest.
No, I'm
the other one,
absolutely
the 4th
open.
of July one.
Yeah, it'd be,
Closer this way.
to
Yeah.
me, be better over there.
I
You can
agree,
do it,
and
stuff
again,
like
I was just
that,
kind of
but
spitballing,
Yeah.
The only hitch would be that you have to clean it up.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
okay.
And I just want to say, like, just again, that point here, that all these ideas and events are great. We just have to follow the black
law.
and white
Right.
Agree.
of hot tax. And
That's
like I
what we
said,
got you for.
yeah, well,
Agree.
Right, yeah.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of post-events.
Right.
Yeah.
Side on the air of caution.
Yeah.
So if you do find a space or you find out where you want to hold the event, just come back and see us so that if it's city property.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, all in
And there's an
favor?
application, there's an application online, or just get on the
it'd be
agenda?
it'd be the same application you filled out.
Okay,
If it gets revamped, we'll definitely let you know.
okay, thank you very much.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, on these next two items for the Rialto Theater, Councilmember Martin has filed a conflict of disclosure form. She will not be participating in the discussion of these two items.
Okay.
Steve?
How you doing? Steve Martin, Rialto Theater, 327 South Commercial. And we're here to try to get hot tax for Rialto Theater for the sign, for advertising, and also for renovations for the theater itself.
Okay. All right, I guess
Okay.
the question is, this qualify?
Well, yeah, so I'd like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So the first application was for building restoration. Everything did fall into line with that historical restoration and preservation item. However, the city had set a precedent with the VFW requiring that they have state registered historical significance or register with the state. So when that happened, that sort of put this on the same sort of playing field. So the Rialto would have to be registered as a historical site based off the precedent the city has set forward. So
Okay.
fortunately, it wouldn't qualify at that point. Now, if they move towards getting registration, I'm not sure the ins and outs of that, and they want to come back for maybe future projects similar, it may qualify at that time, but for now, it just, it doesn't fit the criteria of the city's
I don't know
policy.
how long that takes, Steve, but get on it.
Right.
We'll be 111 years.
And the second sign, the digital sign, and I appreciate this because this is a bit of a doozy because of how it's written and, and new age, and these laws were written a long time ago. But with how, and again, consulting with the Texas Association of Hotels and Lodging, it didn't quite fit the advertising. It's going to be hard to measure how much of the signage actually is directional. And when we talk about directional signs, we talk about a sign in the middle of, say, I don't know, a street that says, Calm Harbor this way, Memorial Tower that way. Those are the types of signs that qualify.
Right.
And I think even that conversation we talked even about were temporary signs for events qualifying under that, but we think that might fall under something, but it's a different conversation. But unfortunately, these two applications don't fit the criteria.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay, do we need to act on this one?
Do we need to act? I don't think so.
No,
right?
it,
Shouldn't have to.
I mean, no,
Postpone.
it doesn't qualify. I
Until
don't,
there's a historical.
Oh, they didn't qualify at all.
No, they didn't.
No.
no, I don't think you need to make any
Okay.
motion.
Sorry,
Okay.
thanks, Steve.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Steve.
Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, next will be Blues for the Next Generation.
Oh, wait, we need to get Lou
Well,
back.
she's also filed for this one because
Oh,
there was
okay.
there was a vague association, but she thought it'd be better
Okay.
Okay.
that she stayed out of it, so.
Good evening. My name is Solomon Lopez. I'm the Executive Director for the Texas Coastal Bend Blue Society. We are based here out of Forensis Pass. This is also Frank Butler, our president. Howdy, folks.
Hello.
How you
You
doing?
want to share a little bit of how we started here and how we're based in?
Sure. We became incorporated in 23 as a 501c3, and we are located in a suite inside of the Rialto Theater. Is our brick and mortar address for the IRS and for the state. So we operate out of there, and that's where we do a lot of promoting of the blues and events. And I personally have been a volunteer booking agent for the Rialto since 22, and brought in a lot of national people to play there. And we put them up in hotels sometimes, and sometimes I pay for it in my own pocket. The Blues Society, we're growing. We're taking on teaching kids how to play the blues. We're going to be giving them instruments this summer in a blues camp, and we have a blues festival at Dorados every year, and it brings in a lot of people. And as a matter of fact, the first time we did it, Justin told me that it was the most money they ever made in a single day since the day they opened 4 years before. So we bring in a lot of people, spend a lot of money in this town, and we also provide bands. I'm in one of them that plays at the Rialto, that plays at Commercial Street, Dorados. We have member bands that play at Pook sometimes. So we have a lot of stuff going on in Aransas Pass. It's just because our hub is here, but we're throughout the entire coastal bend. It's the Texas Coastal Bend Blues Society, which goes from about Port Lavaca to the Mexican border. We have a lot of space to cover, which is a big blues society as compared to like San Antonio or Austin or Houston or Dallas. It's just a city. That's it, So we have a large area that we're tackling over this period of time, and we're growing rapidly. And all of our members are donating funds and guitars and instruments and to just make things happen. Like just this past weekend, we donated a guitar that brought in about $1,000 for Rich Lockhart's kids out of the Sandbox, which is on the island, but it was for Rich, and he's a local. He went to high school here. So we do a lot of things that are Aransas Pass, centered, and it's going to stay that way because we have a really good relationship with the Ice House and with the Rialto. Steve, I've known him since 22, and he's always had our backs. Whatever we want to do, If the date is open, then we can have the Rialto for free. You know, we have Tyrone Vaughn coming the 25th. He's Stevie Ray Vaughan's nephew,
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
and he's staying in a hotel. You know, as a matter of fact, I've got him booked for Dorados on June the 27th, and they're paying for his hotel in Aransas Pass. So, you know, we're bringing in people that are not just, you know, audience that's coming, but also the actual musicians. We get like more than half the musicians for this blues festival this year at Dorados I've hired from out of town. Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and I believe one of them's from Dallas. And Tyrone's he's actually from the Valley. So all those people are coming from out of town, gotta have somewhere to stay. And I know for a fact that, you know, some of them are part of their pay is hotel rooms, because in Aransas Pass, because I negotiated their deal, you know, on behalf of Dorados. So anyway, I don't think we're asking for very much money, actually. If that's all he wanted. He's our executive director, and he's chasing money for us. I'm a musician myself. You know, I'm not good at chasing money. He is, and so that's why we have Solomon here. So,
What's the amount on this one?
what are you asking for?
The request is 10,000.
10,000.
We have just a budget set for 15. What this will go is to fund the 3-day summer camp, which we will market to demographics outside of the area, so they stay here. We figure a 3-day youth camp would bring in families as well, and also create longevity, investing in the youth. So, you know, we just need the funding for different types of instruments, as well as personnel, mentors and things that we need, guest speakers. We feel like if we educate and create an environment where the blues, how the blues started, was very inclusive, and it is the foundation of all modern music. And so if children learn this and they're educated on where it came from and where it's going, it would allow for Aransas Pass to have that as part of their memories, and be an active part of growing the blues here in South Texas.
Is this a day camp or an overnight camp?
It'd be a day camp.
Day camp?
Yeah, but 3 days, so they
Okay,
have to
so
stay.
parents would be staying in the hotels and the
Correct.
kids and, okay.
Does
That's
this one
neat.
qualify?
Okay. So, so go through the application. It was brought in under the registration of convention and delegates, asking for 5,000, 2,500 for advertising, solicitation, promotion that directly promotes tourism, hotel, convention industry, 1,500 for promotion of the arts that directly promote tourism and the hotel convention industry, and $1,000 for signage directing tourists to sites and attractions that are visited frequently by hotel guest municipality. So the first recommendation, or the first change I would suggest, is that the $1,000 from the signage be moved over to the 2,500 under advertising, making that a total of 3,000. Unfortunately, the 5,000 for registration for convention delegates, that doesn't qualify. That's mainly for large cities with large conventions, and that's the only time that it would that particular area would qualify. So it does meet the criteria, and just so you know, those funds have to be used to advertise the event, not to purchase items or to pay anybody. It would have to be strictly for advertising the event, to increase your attendance, and hopefully increasing the hotel occupancy as well. So with that being said, we're still recommending that we do a reimbursement situation here with a post-event report and with receipts. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it qualifies in other areas, but because it's a fairly new event, and we didn't get very good. I mean, it's hard to measure, right, the future, but we think that if they were to come back, reimbursement, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I would do a motion. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve HOP Funds application packet for
No,
blues.
I don't think we're approving at this time.
Okay.
I think we're gonna ask that after the event, that they submit a post-event report
A
along with
post-event,
receipts.
are we gonna give an amount?
Not to exceed 5,000.
Okay. So I make a motion to do a post-event report for the Blues for the Next Generation event, not to exceed 5,000.
And for advertising.
And for advertising.
Second.
Oh, any further discussion?
Is that
Oh.
good, Sal?
Yes.
Anything else? Yeah. Add anything else? How's that sound?
That sounds good. I mean, we pay for radio ads and I know Ken Cooper, so,
And you just
have
bring
our
those
goals.
receipts with you.
Bring the receipts.
Bring the receipts, and we can
All right.
get that worked out.
All right, thank you
All right.
much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now you can get her.
Fill her up, ladies.
I'm
Finally.
hungry. Let's take a
Maybe.
break.
Pizza back there, almost ate it.
No,
I'll put
we're not
plates
Are we
in.
gonna let
almost
Lulu
done.
back in?
Yeah, just 1 second. We gotta wait for our Councilmember Martin to come back.
Lulu to be in here.
She's coming, she's coming.
She was probably back there eating.
Probably.
There she is.
If she was smart.
I would have been.
Everyone else's tummies are growling.
Okay, now, Clean Green, Aransas Pass.
Last but least, anyway, I'm Paula Vandergriff. I am with Clean Green. We're a volunteer group, not a 501(c)(3). On our Facebook page, we show 860 members or something, but you're looking at the most of us that do the boots on the ground work. And, you know, our mission from the get-go, and this is going into our 6th year, was to help beautify the city. We really didn't have any other, well, it started with, we would look around and see trash everywhere and we'd say, somebody needs to pick that up. Well, one day we were together and we said, well, you know, maybe we need to be they need to do stuff. So that's how we started. And so we had a meeting with city and with chamber and anybody that would listen, because our heart desire was to have beautiful flower pots downtown. And the city and everybody involved was so gracious to us. We got 16 pots downtown. And so all these years, we've maintained them. And it has been a chore, I can tell you for sure. In the origination of the triangles, the bases that the outlying pots sit on, and you all know what I'm talking about, Frog and Toad Company graciously put ground cover. Well, that big freeze we had killed it. And then we started dealing with drought, and so then we just started pulling weeds. And we water with individual pitchers. You've all seen us out there with our green pitchers, hand watering the pots week after, 2 and 3 times a week in the hot summer, starting at 6:30 in the morning a lot of days. But why I'm here is the 8 triangles that are now just dirt, really, basically. Full of ants, rocks, weeds that we try to keep ahead of, but you know how that goes. And there's our beautiful pots sitting on this unsightly area. It doesn't coincide what's going on with downtown. We have the Rialto painted red, just blazing. We have all of the new eateries, and really all of the downtown area is looking really sharp. Every building just about has had at least a facelift. And we're trying to keep up with that with the mural projects that we've been instrumental in, that we're really proud of. But we're up against a wall with this. I got a bid through Cindy, who relentlessly calls TxDOT. Lots of calls, but finally got through them today because God is good.
Yes, he is.
And I'm going to read just what she got. Thank you for doing that, Cindy. This is from Chandler with TxDOT. There is a person whom she spoke to, and it said, and this was at 4:40 today, and I'd prayed on this all day today. I looked at some very rough numbers, because we asked for a rough estimate for the work, and using TxDOT as an average bid pricing of $600 cubic yard. I don't know what all this means, but anyway, approximate 16 cubic yards needed. I would assume the work would cost around $9,600. This is in 7 locations. We have 8, but we will sell cookies till our hearts fall out. If we have to get the money to do the last one, we'll try hard. But the point I wanted to make, we're talking about getting people into the city in every avenue. I've listened to it. I've been fascinated and excited. We are the ground people that try to keep it beautiful. As you all know, we do trash pickups every single month. We have never failed. We hold events. It goes on and on. I have this little list here, but it's late, and I know you don't want to hear it because most of you know us. But we can't raise $9,600. We just don't have the means. We do 3 events a year, and we sell cookies. Our business is called Dog Spelled Backwards at $5 a package. And we managed to get enough money. We do Yard of the Month to encourage neighborhoods to tidy up and look good. And of course, we've gotten many new members that have joined us in that endeavor. Patsy's one of our forerunners. We help with the city cleanups. You probably never have had one in years that we are not there trying to help. The only reason I am here is I know the city will benefit, especially our downtown businesses, if those are just filled in with cement. We'd like to have sparkly rocks on the top because we're blinging, but I feel as though what my vision is, I'll tell you what mine is. We now have the new bird walk, and we've got all these beautiful murals, and as you know, all the murals downtown depict our seabirds. Beautiful work. And we have murals all over town. We have a new one coming in that is gorgeous. I would like to promote through the city help tours where we would have out-of-town people come. We will show them all of our murals. We'll have speakers that will talk about our sea birds and fauna and all the things. Then we'll take them around town and show them all of our murals. We're becoming known as a mural town. You know what? This was on our hearts like 3 years ago. And we started working every penny we could get. And now we are really and truly, we're known as a city of murals. People come there. We see it all the time. We're down working. We hear them. I drove over here to see these. I know about them. And then we have many, many thank yous. I know that the people really appreciate it. And here I'm standing in ant beds, scratching like this. Thank you in the dirt, trying to water. It would be so lovely if we could get those 8 squares filled in permanently. And then when we do our cleanups downtown, I can work on the curves. You know how the curves are because of our wind tunnels. Instead of always pulling weeds, fighting ants, etc., etc. So out of kind of a, can you help us help the city look better? That's really why we're here. So I had come up with a number of $10,000, and this bid came in from TxDOT, and they've got all these charts at $9,600. So I feel like, but if we could even get half that to do the 4 centers, HEB, Pooks, Metro, and H&R Block, where that main traffic comes through there, going to, you know, we don't even mention the name. There are 300,000 people go around that corner. And so what are they seeing? They see the pots, but then they see this unsightliness. It really, even, I mean, we can rake the dirt and try to make it look a little better, but it's unsightly. And so that's really what we're here for. And then, when we get all of it as pretty as we can, then it will free us up to work on projects like tour groups coming in. And I have this vision that we'll pick a hotel, say we're gonna spend the night here, we're gonna have people here all day long doing the speakings, then we're gonna get in a van and we're gonna show you Aransas Pass. Not Rockport. And not Port A. I love it to visit, but I'm tired of hearing about it. I want them to be here and know the people. You know, Aransas has look at the deity we've got here. We've got wonderful, wonderful people. Let's get them into our eateries, into our theaters, into even our HEB is cool. Let's face it, for a little HEB, that's a pretty cool store.
Yeah.
And we have nice eateries here. So that all, in my mind, fits in with this request.
Okay.
And that's what I've got.
This one qualify?
I just want to add
Oh.
also what Paula said, for the parades, for goodness sakes, those triangles, what we want cemented in, I mean, for all the Christmas parade, the Mardi Gras parade, you know, if they're downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, what a help that would be. Kids, the parents can stand on those triangles.
And for the old women that are down there getting ant bit in the dirt.
Darn ants. Paula, we do.
Any questions?
Yes.
So this doesn't fall within hot fund
I was a
guidelines,
little bit
unfortunately.
worried about it.
It falls more under beautification, which typically comes out of general funds
What about MDD?
or MDD.
That's what I was gonna say, if it's something we could try and do.
So I'm fairly new with MDD. I'm more familiar with just a EDC kind of situation where anyone can kind of come. So I'm not sure of procedure, but that would
I
be
think
my
it'd be
suggestion.
great
Is that we
to take it before the MDD, and instead of just asking for the 9,600
Do the
for the
extra.
8 squares,
Yeah.
it looks like it's 1,200 per square. Go ahead and ask for the 10,800.
Well, oh, yeah.
10,800 to
That-
cover
that
all 9
was,
squares, because right now we have a lot of enthusiasm behind downtown and going on. We're about to have the art walk next Friday coming up, and just to have those spaces look decent
with
with
you.
people coming in and
Rick, you're so
going
right.
down
You're
there.
right on 1,000%.
So
I agree.
I think it'd be great to go before the MDD board for this.
What do we do to do that? Do we, like, does it need to go through you, or do
Yeah.
they? How
Submit
do we
it
do
to
it?
Mary.
You need to submit a request. You could probably submit it to, if you want to get it on the agenda for next week, we would need the request
Today?
By tomorrow, because we'll
How do
post the
they submit
agenda
a
on
request?
Wednesday.
Guys, you know I'll need help with this.
Okay.
I can come with you. I can come to the MDD meeting with you.
No.
Okay.
But we need to
How
get
do
the
you
form
want,
done.
how
Oh,
do
the
you want
form.
the form submitted?
Her?
But what's the form? Do we have a form?
There's not a form. Just send an email.
Can you give her your email address?
Yeah. There you go.
Actually, maybe one of y'all can get a phone and just send it now. Sit with him and get his email and send it right now. Then it's done.
That'd be
Yep.
wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Cindy,
see,
We'll work with
Cindy,
her to make
this is
sure she
easier
gets it
than
in on
hot
time.
funds, Miss
Will be
Paula.
easier.
Well, you know what, God is good.
That's right.
I'm so glad y'all came and sat through this whole meeting.
That's right.
And the meeting's at 5:15. I know that because I have to drive from Corpus. It's
Right
here,
here.
and it's on Tuesday?
It's next Tuesday,
Next
yes.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday at 5:15. So you bring your whole group in here.
I'm having surgery Wednesday, but, tomorrow, Tuesday, or a week from
A week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be well enough to do it.
That'll work.
I mean, if Ruth isn't available, I'll make myself available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
That sounds good,
So
Lou.
one of us will definitely.
One of us can go.
Third way down.
and if you think I can present it correctly,
You did a great job here presenting it.
Yeah.
You did.
I would just include the nine
whole total.
squares.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be $10,800 total.
I will do that, Ruth.
Yeah. Let's just get it nice.
All I know how to do is plant flowers and
Well, you do
Right.
beautiful.
That's really what
Yeah.
Yep. And they're 1,200 a piece per square, so that would be 10,800 for your request.
There you go.
Okay.
We know that part.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, thank you guys for your time, and I know this meeting really ran long, but actually, I thought that was very interesting.
Wasn't it great? Yep.
And so I didn't want to make it too long. Anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Paul.
y'all.
Thank you,
y'all for
guys.
those
Yes, thank you for
flowers always
everything
look
you do.
beautiful and everything
I'm
you do.
excited.
Yeah.
I think it'd look really nice down there. It needs,
I think
yeah,
it
we
will
need it.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And thank you very much for
Yes.
maintaining of the yellow benches.
Oh, yes,
they
you're
look
welcome.
Right.
We're trying.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Oh, we don't need to act on that one, right?
Oh,
That's
but
it.
can we put somewhere in the future to revisit our process of how we do the hot funds for us to be able to discuss it?
Sure, okay, yeah, we could bring it back as a discussion item, just to kind of revisit the guidelines
I think
for
after,
hot funds.
I think there's
Right.
some things that would be great to change and just
Yeah.
tweak
Sure.
a little.
Okay, all
I
right, we'll
agree.
bring that back.
Thank you.
Okay, now where are we at? Okay, next we're gonna consider an act to appoint one member to the board of directors of the coast.
Jason.
What?
Can we take a little break? Like even just to, Beth, I think he needs a break. I need a break.
What, 5 minutes?
Yeah, just,
I don't need a break, I need dinner.
I know, but I just a little bit.
3 minutes.
Go to the restroom.
Okay,
How
do
about
it.
5?
Okay, you want to take a 5-minute recess?
Okay, we'll go for a 5-minute
Randy,
recess.
Sorry.
That's
Five.
candy.
It's deer
8:26.
sausage.
Oh, is it? We're patient to this point.
Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session, and now we're gonna move into consider an act to appoint one member to the Board of Directors of the Coastal Bend Foundation as the City of Aransas Pass representative for a term until May 31st, 2027.
So Mayor, this is one of those boards where you make the recommendation and then the council just approves it.
Okay, I think it was a record, Andrew Lovell?
Andrew Lavelle,
Yeah,
yes.
Andrew Lavelle, I can't ever get the last name right. That's my recommendation.
I'll make a motion, we accept.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll consider an act on an ordinance amending the budget for the fiscal year 2026 in accordance with the existing statutory requirements, appropriating the various amounts herein, repealing all prior ordinances and actions in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Okay, good evening. I'm going to give a quick summary. The majority of this, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the items are money that's coming from MDD. MDD is doing projects along with the city for the EDC person, the EDC Economic Development Services, the shade structures, the welcome sign, the Lighthouse Lakes bathrooms, the pavilion, the HVAC at the Civic Center, the renovations at the Civic Center for the bathrooms, and upgrades and repairs for the Aquatic Center. All of that totals $974,000 that's coming from MDD. This is just us in the books. We've already spent some of that money in those funds. It's just, and we received the money, but we're just making it clear in the budget that they're giving us that money and that we're going to be expending that money.
Okay.
The other items that we're talking about is we received a donation for the trunk or treat and the fall feast in a total of $900. I'm realigning some expenses in my department to allow me to purchase a software for $5,000. There's the fire department. I know it's a post on Facebook that we were buying an engine truck and all of this. That is, we have bought it, but we had the funds already there from the $16 million certificates of obligation that we issued, and they bought an engine truck and a brush truck with those funds.
Right.
And that's just moving the money into the general fund. The Parks and Recreation Department is transferring one person to the mowing department. The Harbor is transferring a person to the mowing department, so we're realigning those salary expenses. The Parks and Recreation Department is also transferring expenditures to the mowing department to allow the mowing department to have those expenditures. So we're realigning that. The wastewater treatment plant has an unexpected expenditure, so they're realigning some line item expenses to make that so that they could be able to cover those expenditures. But in a nutshell, that's what this budget is. We're not spending more money than we budgeted. The money that we are spending is coming from the MDD. We are not issuing a tax note to buy a new fire truck or anything like that. We've had the funds to do that purchase, and that purchase has already been done. Okay? Any questions?
So basically, you're just moving cost centers according to the new positions that have been.
Exactly, like we're moving people around, so we're putting that in the mowing department so that in the budget, it reflects that. And in the budgets moving forward, we know that David has 2 more personnel in the mowing department than he had when he began the year. This is just finalizing those shufflings.
Yeah, and that's the right thing to do. And just for clarification, any and all new equipment that we purchase is being inventoried.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
David, do we have our machine yet?
Oh, the remote
Oh, it's
control.
on the tax note?
Yeah.
I don't know what machine he's referring to.
Remote control mower?
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
It's on
that
the
is
tax.
there. It is part of the tax note, yes.
No, I think you need a push mower.
The mower. It's just a remote mower.
Okay, we need to be very careful with anything remote. My husband has a personal experience with remote control heavy equipment. We need to have proper policies in place to make sure nothing happens to our employees, such as what happened to my husband.
Okay. Well, we will take that into We'll work on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, that may not have
That's
been the
okay.
place, but, woo, red flag went up.
Okay, is everybody else okay?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Not yet, make a motion to do this.
Okay, I make a motion to, to approve an ordinance amending the budget for the fiscal year 2026 in accordance with existing statutory requirements, appropriating the various amounts herein, repealing all prior ordinances and actions in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date as of 4/6/2026.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Okay, now we're gonna consider an act on awarding an RFP for fireworks contractor to Pow Pyro, is that right? LLC in the amount of $23,000 for
Pow,
the
that's-
City of Aransas Pass Independence Day fireworks show on July 4th, 2026.
Yeah, it doesn't come out better the more times you say it, so it just always comes out like that.
Pow,
And
pow.
saying pow pow ain't
Pow,
much
pow.
better, so it just is what it is. But anyways, so all the RPs or bids that we got were pretty much the same. The reason we ended up going with pow pow was they're the only one who initially said that they could do it on July 4th. So that's kind of how we ended up there. But other than that, pretty simple, straightforward, 15, 20-minute show, 6-inch shells, and then that's how it'll be.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
And how long will the actual show be?
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. I
And
make a
that's within
motion.
our budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we good?
We
I
gotta
make a
give the
motion
kids
awarding
fireworks.
An RFP for fireworks contractor to Pow Pow Pyro LLC in the amount of $23,000 for the City of Aransas Pass Independence Day fireworks show on July 4th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
Great job,
That'd
Malik.
be nice. This is gonna be the first time for 4th of July in a long time.
Okay, now we're gonna consider an act on authorizing the issuance of a request for proposals for the construction of the police and fire station renovations and addition project.
Yes. So those construction documents for the police and the fire station renovation and addition project are now complete. So the next step in the process is to issue the RFP, and that's what this item is doing. It's just to issue the RFP for that project. You can see the timeline there on the screen. A pre-bid conference, I think we're trying to get Jason Walters on the line in case you have any questions. But the pre-bid conference is scheduled for May the 4th. The bids will be due on May the 18th. We'll bring it to council for approval on June the 1st. And the notice of the award will go to the contractor on June 2nd.
Okay.
So,
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything either.
so, I mean, if you have any questions, if not, that's the item before you.
I'm sorry, what's the city of who?
Well, we're trying to get Mr. Walters, but if you don't have any questions, we can just go forward.
No, we're fine.
Feel good?
Y'all have any questions?
You don't need them.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, I'll make a motion to consider an act on authorizing the issuance of a request for proposal for construction of the police station and fire station renovations and addition project.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna consider an act on awarding a request for proposals to Durnell Companies LLC in an amount not to exceed $15,000 for removal and proper disposal of 2 obsolete storage tanks at Combine Harbor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We did get quite a bit of activity on this bid. I don't know if we have the bid tab on it, do we? But I want to say we had like 15 bidders.
God damn.
No, it's
Yeah.
not attached, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So it ranged from 12,000 to 175,000.
Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry, there it is.
So right there, 14. I'm sorry, I said 15. My apologies. So it ranged from 12,000 to 150,000. Even though it's a big range, we were looking at between the $12,000 and $18,000 range, what we're estimating, and we have a real tight group right there in the top 3. So we're very comfortable going with that lowest bid because Anybody knows Camacho
Uh-huh.
Demolition? I mean, they're reputable and they're within that price. So that kind of gives us, unfortunately, they kind of give us the comfort to go with the lowest bidder, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. It's still unknown what kind of slab that tank is sitting on. So we did get money approved from the MDD board to get funding, and we added an extra 25% on top of that in case we pull this tank off and that slab is a full slab and they decide to hit us with a change order. At least we have the funding
Right.
on hand. But we will come towards you guys, come forward for approval for a change order, but nevertheless, the tanks will be gone
Okay.
once we give that
Good deal.
approval, notice to proceed with the contractor.
Okay,
Nice.
good deal. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve our award request for, to award, Darnell Companies LLC in the amount not to exceed $15,000 for the removal and proper disposal of 2 obsolete storage tanks at Con Brown Harbor.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're gonna move it to consider an act on approving the pro rata water extension agreement with Mr. Justin Guerrero.
So this
Say
will
that
be my first pro rata period, not just in Ren's period. We hadn't done that before. Throughout the city, we have a lot of underdeveloped water lines. TCQ maxes out to a certain amount of taps per line. For example, 10 is a max. So when the 11th person is knocking on the door, hey, I need a tap, unfortunately, we cannot give them a tap. So the only other option is to upgrade the water line, but the city doesn't usually have the money on hand immediately when it's asked. So the reason pro rata is there, so that way the customer could pay for the full water line, for the full upgrade. For example, he would pay $5,500 for his upgrade, and if the 12th and 13th person says, hey, I want to tie in too, well, we get the money he spent and divide it equally into the remaining properties. For example, somebody who had to pay $2,500, the other person pays $2,500. City manages it and gives the homeowner his money back, per se. Of course, there is a statute of limitations of so much time goes by. I believe it was, what, 7 years?
7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
At that point, it becomes statute of limitations. They will not get their money back, but if anybody develops within the 7 years, he could potentially get that. He doesn't understand that risk, and he's still willing to go forward because he wants to build a resident. He's not building a profitable property. He's not trying to build houses, a subdivision. He's just trying to build a home for himself. So
Okay.
the recommendation is to approve the $5,500 pro rata, and the city would just go install that line ourselves.
Okay. All right.
So
do we-
our contribution would be the backfill
Labor.
material, the equipment, and the labor will be providing in kind.
Okay. Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the pro rata water extension agreement with Mr. Justin Guerrero.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, thanks, David. Okay, now we're gonna move into executive session, and I think we got,
For the record, I did receive a call earlier today in regards to item number 3, which is the potential compound harbor lease for Redfish Bay. They asked that we postpone that item, so that item will not be discussed during executive session.
okay, and the other two are still good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and first item will be Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce audit. Second item, potential Cabra Harbor lease, ML and M&R Real Estate Investments LLC, and it is
8:46.
8:46.
We still doing the
Okay, it's 9:36 PM. We're gonna reconvene in open session, and do we have any motions to be made?
Make a motion to approve at Con Brown Harbor lease with Mark Lumsky and Mike. Okay, let's just do it M&L and M&R Real Estate Development Investments, LLC, subject to the terms outlined in the agreement.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, with that being said, meeting adjourned.